Hello, everyone. Good Saturday to everyone. I'm
Yep.
gonna get that right from now on out, probably. We are talking from to a band today from the states, so it's a little better, I guess. So,
Yeah.
uh, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Little good morning is a little more accurate this time, yes,
right.
but we still know not everyone in here is having a morning. So, but
Well, that is true. That is true. We do have some people listening from other parts of the world. So
that's right. So,
let's
which
see
is
here.
nice.
The Dana's real quick, and then we shuttle off. Come on, come on, come on. So if you've been following us, y'all do know we have a guest today, and I just want to take a big thank you. We was talking earlier to the band a little bit before the show, and I want to give a shout out to Curtis. Man, Curtis has been hooking us up with
Yeah.
stuff. It's he's an awesome dude over at the label, and
Yep.
we appreciate what he's doing for us. So
Yeah, we got a lot of interviews that we owe to Curtis. So he's been awesome. So we've talked about it, and and of course, I guess this is kind of an official offer, but I mean, Jason and I have talked about it a few times, talking about seeing if we could get Curtis to come on the show so we could kind of pick his brain about his day to day operations and all that stuff. So, Curtis, if you're listening, if you want to come on the show, we'd be happy to have you. So, but I mean, because I mean, we've been, and Jason, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I mean, I think Curtis may have been one of the first label PR reps that we kind of connected with. He may not have been the first, but I know he was one of the first. And
uh,
I, I
I
think he's
want to
actually,
say he may have been the first or second one for sure.
yeah. So I
So
mean, we've been working together with Curtis for a while now. So
all right. Without further ado, let's bring our guest up in here. Let's see.
yes,
There's David. There's
David and
Poncho.
Poncho.
How's it going, guys?
What's up, guys?
Very awesome.
Morning, gentlemen.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, like I said, we appreciate Curtis because I don't know if he's told y'all anything about us, but we kind of started this thing about 6 years ago, doing what we do. We take bands like you guys and bands that people may not know or have heard of, and try to get them on the show and get them a little bit more push and publicity maybe, and you know hopefully it creates more fans for you and more fans for us. That's the way we kind of look at it. So.
Yep.
But yeah, we focus mainly on that. I mean, because big bands can go anywhere they want to, pretty much. So it's the bands that people don't know about that we like to get in people's ears. So
Absolutely, because I mean, it's kind of an introduction to us. So we figure if
hmm
since we're just meeting you guys, if the people who follow the show can meet you guys too, you know, it's all a plus. So
That's how it used to
that's
be
right.
before the
That's
fucking
absolutely
robots came in. You just find a
right.
band you like, you meet some friends like, hey, check this band. Oh my god, this is great. And then that's what. And I think that's why the old bands are staying longer than the new bands because the process of getting to know the band was so organic, rather than
hmm
through an ad or the famous algorithm.
yeah,
So we really
Right.
appreciate what you guys are doing for that reason. It's connect like Metalheads Unite. Fucking give me a break. I need a T-shirt for that. You know what I'm saying?
No,
Because
hey, I can hook you up, man. I got
yeah,
some.
you said because that was what metal was. Remember in high school in like the 80s and 90s. I'm probably way older than you guys, but the
probably not,
metalheads.
probably
No,
not
probably
way
not.
older, probably not way older.
But we the metalheads always talking. We were the weirdos, the misunderstood guys. So we always united.
Right.
We always stuck together, and that's how I made it through high school. It was with my group of musician metalhead friends.
Well,
So
not
thank
for
you.
nothing, we are still the weirdos. So
Correct. We got to stay weird, man. That's why
That's
you
right.
got
Yeah,
my
if we don't,
We're still the weirdos.
we,
if you
we,
if
lo-
you
we lose our edge. You know, we lose our edge if we don't. So
if you want to make a career in the arts, you gotta be fucking weird. Otherwise,
That is true.
you're just gonna be whatever. You know. Anyway, perfect.
How did this project kind of come about? I know like you guys have been in the music industry separate for a while. So how did you guys kind of hook up and decide to do this project?
Well, I met David in Austin when I was playing with film, the power trio that I used to have back in the day, and I met Dave there for the simple fact that we're both from Ecuador.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not only weird to find an Ecuadorian, but an Ecuadorian metalhead. I was like, "Fuck, come here."
You had that stepbrother. Did we just become best friends moment? So
He was like that. He was like, from the second I met this punk, we became good friends. And it was like family, and we worked together a lot in other music for Facebook when we were training the robot for the Metaverse. We did. Fuck, we did, but great. And when they needed metal, I was like, there he is. So he would write some metal stuff, and we were working a lot, fairly good amount. And then the whole COVID debauchery, and
yeah.
Officer Lucifer starts pretty much because I got divorced.
Uh-oh.
After COVID, and I remember I was living in the mountains in this little cabin when I just moved up here to Northern California, next to the river. And I got up one day and I'm like, I'm fucking fed up. I need to make a metal band, Like I need to get all this shit out and all these frustrations and all this. I want, and I was like, I want to create the craziest project to piss everybody off. I want everybody to judge us, to call us names. I want to just disturb the sheep, right? So again, I'm like, metal. Who do I call? There he is. So I called David out of nowhere. I remember I was with my coffee in my garden. I'm like, David, I'm ready. He goes, what's up? I'm like, I want to make a band. Are you in it? He's like, yeah. And then I said, well, get the drummer, and let's put a plan together. We're old now, so now we plan things, not like before. Just get high and and start a band. And I was like, so it's like we put the plan. He got Andres, the drummer that we have now, who's a fucking monster. Every time you play a drummer, when he hits every note and he makes a face like it hurts. Everybody's like something hurts, and I'm like, okay, that's the dude, great. And then I wrote just a bunch of riffs at the beginning because David is a really good producer himself, not only audio but visuals and all that. And I enlisted my younger brother to do all the graphics. He sees like all characters rather than people to add with the confusion. And then yeah, it's animal. It's like robotic animals with old what do you call this, dictator outfits.
Yeah.
So there's like a Nazi outfit, there's a Russian outfit, Chinese, there's a Venezuelan outfit. It's like I grew up in Venezuela, so I went through all that crap. Maybe that's part of it. And there's new characters. There's Dr. Farmadillo, which is Page Hamilton. He's got his character. He's an armadillo with a lab suit and drugs and all that shit. So it's like there's always some kind of like parallel, which is fun. But yeah, that's how the band came up. It was just like impulsive, and I think we were ready to just do it. Not for the likes, but just to do it, do something good, put it on vinyl only so people actually buy it, I mean, yeah, the campaign comes out digital, track by track, like we've been doing, but the whole package is going to be analog only for that purpose. It's like if you want it, follow the fucking rabbit hole and go look for it. That's fun.
It is
You
fun.
know,
Yeah,
That's
it
right.
is.
It
Yeah.
is.
and that's
These
why
We
again,
we spent
thank you guys.
we spent many wasted hours doing
Yeah,
that.
Oh
So.
yeah.
that's why.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
why for artists and metalheads, guys, like your service is so essential, man. Because it's organic, and because that's the way. That's how bands last, when you find it on your own. And you say, when I search for bands in Instagram, if you have 50 followers and your music rip, that's who I follow.
Yeah.
You know, rather than the chick with a nice boobs and the 50 million followers. It's like,
Yes.
that's unreal.
Yeah.
But
Who
anyway,
who
What you gotta
hasn't
think is like, are they?
yeah.
Yeah, but then you gotta think, are they following for the looks of the music though? I mean, that's the thing. Is
that's
like,
true.
you know,
You don't know how many times I post on these girls that play bass are really good, but I just make a post every time saying, "What are you selling?" Question mark.
yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
what is
Man,
it? Like,
I tell you, one of the bassists that really impressed me is the one from Dogma. Man, she gets in that stance like Metallica's
Oh,
bassist,
like yeah,
Gillo.
right. Like
Yeah,
Roger
she
Hill,
get that
yeah.
little stance just like him, and she's wearing it out. I'm like, wow, that's
yeah,
crazy,
when
dude.
you don't
To
have
see
balls, that's a lot easier to do.
it is a lot easier.
God, if I had that flexibility, goddamn, I would just squat
Yeah,
sometimes.
you're right. You're right. It is a lot easier. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, but
Sorry,
I don't know. It's almost like they're on the floor playing bass. I'm just like, how the hell do y'all do that? I can't. Like, I played bass before, and
but
I couldn't
bro,
get down like that. It's,
what my mentors was like, if it's about that, I'd much rather go see the Wrigley Brothers circus, than hear the music. If it's for the what is it, the pyrotechnics and the freaking acrobats, I'll go to the circus, see some Russian
yeah,
trapezes.
Cirque du Soleil, yeah.
Yeah, correct. That.
uh,
Like, oh my god! But like, if you go to a metal show and the only thing you remember is the bass player squatting rather than the music, it's like,
right.
Yeah,
you know what
something.
I mean?
Well, I've never seen them live. I've just watched the videos, and
Yeah.
I'm just like, man, that's just crazy how they. Of
Amazing.
course, I mean that may be a director thing if they're doing it in a video. I don't know, but
Yeah.
Well,
maybe
yeah,
a director preference.
Leave it to Rob for doing it, because he grew up in East LA.
Oh
He
yeah.
probably had to do that to avoid all the bullets from the drive-bys. That's
Oh my
right.
god.
Oh, yeah, like,
well, you might be right. I mean,
anyway, too much shit.
it was man.
So
I've never been to LA, but other than LAX on a layover. But I mean, so I've never been to LA. But man, I remember as a kid hearing stories and seeing shit on the news and everything. Man, LA was a different animal back then. I know it's still a different animal now, but I mean, you talking 30, 35 years ago, LA was just it was an adventure living out there
oh yeah.
35 some odd years ago. But I mean, I don't know how much it's changed, but Jesus Christ, I just all the shit you used to see on the news coming out of LA, back in the day growing up is, just it was
Ugh,
it was the Wild West, for sure. Back then.
LA is
Ridiculous.
like the analogy of like the most beautiful girl you've ever met, but she has herpes. And you're like, God, no! Should I kiss her? Yeah, You go home,
That's
you're
probably,
itchy. You're like, oh, why am I itching?
that's
You know?
probably an accurate analogy.
Oh, it
And
is
pe-
so beautiful. And the underground. I lived in LA for 25 years. I lived in LA, and it takes you about 6 months, 7 months to crack the first door to the underground. You know what I'm saying? And then once you discover the ways and you find where all these underground spots are, it's one of the most fascinating like places on earth. From the food to the art to the music. But to get it's the layer that you have to go through before you get there is it's
yeah.
so bad. It's so big and so full of BS that It's annoying. It's
Well,
annoying.
I mean, well, the crazy thing about California is, I mean, the when you think about it, the amount of metal we wouldn't have if it wasn't for the scene out there,
Oh
it's
yeah.
Girl,
it's ridiculous how much metal we
girl.
wouldn't have if it wasn't for the West Coast
Holy
out there.
shit.
So,
You're right.
I mean, I mean, hell, you're talking about, you know, three-quarters of the big four wouldn't have them, wouldn't have suicidal tendencies. I mean, you know, just the amount of music we wouldn't have if it wasn't for California. So.
That is so true. I mean, it was like the birthplace almost of American metal. If you think about
I
it,
mean, yeah, I mean, kind of,
almost. I mean,
yeah.
if you
Well, I mean,
really think
look
about
how it was even popping back in like the '80s with the hair metal scene. I mean, that's like Ricky Ratman's place and all
Mhm.
those clubs that were down on the strip were just there was a band playing all the time. So
Yeah.
I mean,
I I recently came in contact with this. Maybe you guys know this documentary about that black.
Oh,
what was it again? The Black
yeah,
what?
It was a black punk. It was a trio of brothers called Death back in
Oh
the
yeah, yeah,
from
uh huh,
Detroit.
yeah,
Man, if those guys made it back then, that would have been like one of the biggest bands right in the world. Their music was so insane, man, so incredible. And going back to it, like this, I, I think a lot of good music came from the East Coast. A lot of good metal
hmm
was
it did.
brewing in the East Coast, but it didn't have that notoriety of rock stardom that California
right.
had, and probably that punk added to the skateboard, the
Yeah,
surfing, that whole thing that went along with it.
yeah. It
You know,
didn't. It didn't have. It didn't have the. It kind of like came around at the wrong time. It was a little bit ahead of its time because
yes,
it didn't have the imagery that the labels were looking for predominantly at the time.
correct.
Right.
You know, so it was because hell, Jason and I have talked about this before on the show, talking about how saturated the market became because all of these record labels they weren't necessarily looking for so much looking for the sound predominantly as they were as something that they could market.
Right.
So I mean, these labels, they would go to a show and they would hear something that they liked, but it also had to look a certain way. So now the way things are now is I think I think things the way they are now are actually the way they should be. It's actually a focus on the actual content and the art and the way it sounds. But back then it was like, all right, what can we sell that looks, quote unquote, looks right? And then you had Motley Crue and Poison, and but I mean, after a while it was like carbon copies of everything.
Right.
Right.
So I mean, a lot of the sound got lost, and there were bands that probably could have made it on, the sonic aspect of it, but it just kind of got drowned
Well,
out. And
it was almost like a video came on and you were like, okay, is that Tough or is that enough or is that Faster Pussycat? You don't know who it was. I mean,
yeah,
Right,
because
right.
they all kind of looked,
But you know what?
until you seen it at the bottom, you didn't know who you were looking at.
To our defense, the artists and the metalheads here, the anti-poser guys in the world, I think that happened not because of us, but because you see, when labels started, they started with entrepreneurs, right?
Hmm
Like businessmen that had no idea about music, but they knew, okay, that band's good, that band's good. You sign them, you develop them, you put them out. All the Atlantic and Warner, the original labels, right? And they had this core of executives with this entrepreneurship mentality. The guys that signed Aretha, the Rolling Stones, Stevie Wonder, all those guys, right? They're there, and they were businessmen. They had no idea. They just knew it was good. They were business. They were taking the risk. When the label starts to have this core executive and all these departments, all the way to the mailroom, right? The mailroom is taking these interns, right? And Frank Zappa said this. The mailroom is taking these interns that are starting to gradually go up the ladder of the label, and now there are executives. There are not entrepreneurs. There were young hippies or young artists like us that took a gig at the label in the mailroom, and all of a sudden they're up there in the top. So what they're looking for is not to find and discover the next band, but to keep their salary together. So whatever is selling, they're gonna carbon copy like what you're saying. We're gonna carbon copy this thing that sounds, and we're gonna exhaust it until it doesn't sell anymore, and then we'll move to the next trend. That's why trends are so important right now, and the whole robot that predicts what's gonna sell or not is like a magic one for these people,
Yeah.
And again, it brings me back to the point of you guys, and to thank you guys again for reaching, like, when I was playing in War, the funk band, and I asked the old guys, the real rock stars, guys that have sold 120 million records. It's like, how did you make it so big? And the answer blew my mind, because they said, one fan at a time. It doesn't have to be stadiums. You go, you talk to everybody, you shake everybody's hand. He goes, make yourself remarkable, one fan at a time, and they'll stay. So that's why I appreciate what you guys do, bringing the fans together with the new bands that otherwise would never be heard because of how things are. I wish I had tits, but I don't.
Well, to quote Ace Ventura, that kind of surgery can be done over the weekend. So
I would look great with some booty. my fans, bass magazines, will be like, yeah.
I think it would create a lot of conflicting emotions right off the bat. Like, okay, that's weird, but I can't stand up right now. What the fuck's going on? So
what's wrong with Punch?
I think he's saying that, like, the one fan at a time thing kind of goes based off of what I've been saying about this show the whole time. I said whether we gain 10 people or 100 people, if we're gaining something, that's the main goal. That's the main goal, gaining something. We don't want to go back. We want to keep going forward.
Yeah.
And I don't set something unrealistic like, oh, if I don't have 500 followers, this show's done. I'm not doing anything like that, because that's not, I feel like that a lot of people set goals too high and then they don't reach them, and then it kind of just kind of infuriates them, and then they'll back off and
they give up.
Work on I'm not doing that. This is this is too important as to us as much as it is to the musicians. I think to get this out there, and like I said, we've talked to we've been doing interviews. We spent the first year building up a fan base to do this. This is exactly what we wanted to do, but we didn't want to do it without a fan base, because that didn't help anybody. That didn't help the band. That didn't help us. Once we got about a couple hundred people on board with us, we was like, all right, let's start doing interviews. Let's get some music out there, and people will start listening to it. And we've gotten emails or messages from people on there. Oh man, I'm glad you brought that up. Check that band out. They're awesome.
Yep.
So it's helping in a sense. I don't know how much it helps. I don't, I'm not out here to try to be the savior of metal or anything. But it's like I don't keep up with any of that for bragging rights or anything. I don't care. It's the purpose is to get it into somebody's playlist or record collection or whatever they have. It's to do that.
Yep.
And hopefully we're doing that. We've been doing the band interviews this is the fifth year for band interviews.
Yeah,
so we've had, we started out, I think it was like 12 one year, 19 one year, and I think we was up to 20 something last year. So,
yeah,
if we're spending half the year interviewing bands, that means that much more music is getting out there for people to hear, and bands that they're getting to know too. So, I think that's a lot too. I think a lot of times, I know I've liked some bands on here, and then to get them on here, and then it made me like them more because of their personality and their outlook on the whole thing, and and then a lot of times I've learned stuff here too. It's like you'll talk to some band and they'll be like, oh, back when I was doing this, I'm like, oh, I didn't even know you were in that project. That's crazy. It's like so it's a learning experience too for us. So. So I appreciate every band that's ever been on here. We appreciate you guys. We appreciate the labels. We got, I think we're up to like 6 or 7 labels that put stuff in our inbox. I mean, it's almost so much we can't keep up with it. So,
dude, I was actually looking at it this morning, and we currently have 182 emails we haven't read in our inbox.
Yeah, it's
that's how much That's how much stuff that we get sent to us. It's crazy, and
It's
it's
great
just
news.
no. I mean, it is great news, but man, it's just because the show is just Jason and myself. That's it. That's all there is. So I mean, the fact that we have 182 emails that we haven't read yet, it is a testament to that fact. Is it's just the two of us, man. I mean, so we have stuff that we can get to, stuff that we can't, and
We
you know,
try, and then if it's so old,
we
I
do
mean,
our best. So
it's not. If it's something that's so old, we try to like at least share it onto our like social media. That way, at least we're doing something with it.
yeah,
So if it's like, oh, this album came out, I'm like, well, hell, it's been 2 months now. I mean, it's
at least share the music
at
video.
least share
Or
it, yeah.
share,
And
share the single.
most of the time when we hear that, we'll reach out anyway and say, hey, sorry, but if they have time, we'll be glad to put them on. And unfortunately, they're on tour at this point, so it's kind of like
That
okay,
has
well,
happened, yeah.
yeah. So by the time 6 months down the road, I mean, it's probably pretty much null to even try to do anything at that point, unfortunately. But so yeah, so it is rough, and we're only doing this once a week. So I mean, if you got 8 bands wanting to come on the show, it's like okay, well, you're going to have to spread it out over 2 months because we don't. I mean, we work 40-hour week jobs too. So
Yep.
I wish this would pay off, and this is all we did. I'd interview bands every day, but
Oh man, if this was the 40-hour a week job, shit, it's over.
Oh my God.
Yeah, forget about it, man.
Well, he'll get there, And,
well, maybe someday we hope.
Maybe we do, maybe we don't. But I mean, it's
Yeah, it's
you know,
all.
there-
It makes me feel good about the show and ourselves to do what we're doing though. So it's like if it works out to be something great. If it doesn't, that's fine. We're content with getting the word out. That's pretty much
right. And
Yeah,
like you said, as long as you see it like going up.
right. Yeah, as long as you see a trend going up, that's
Yeah.
the main thing. So.
and yeah, and we do. It's everything that we've done has been a steady increase, and that's fine. Because like the funny thing is, want to give a quick shout out to Tucker the Cursed joining us on the chat and YouTube. By the way, thanks for joining the show. But ever since we started the show, I mean, there was a vision that we had, and there were things that we set out to do, and then we were like, all right, we want to do this and this and this, so we can do this and this, and then basically we're like, anything else on top of that is kind of a bonus, the way we look at it.
Right.
We've gotten to meet some of the bands that we've interviewed. We've gotten to go to a couple of podcasting expos. We've gotten.
We did live streams for a couple of concerts. So.
Yeah, so we've done live streams on scene, and we're to the point now where we literally have a worldwide audience. I mean, we have people who listen to us all over the world, over in Poland, and
I was just gonna say, if you know anyone in Poland, when I was touring with film, that was probably my favorite country to tour. We did the whole country, Gdansk, Warsaw, Krakow, like the Danzig, and it was amazing, and the fans were so incredible. I am hoping to bring Officer Lucifer to Poland. Even start if we do anything overseas. I would love it if it was Poland. Like the first country was Poland. They're incredible. We're a great bunch of people, man. I love Poland.
I think that's another thing too that we always say on here is like we do a lot of European guests, and I think that's important for here in the States because I don't think the European acts get the credit and the promotion they deserve over here.
they absolutely do not.
Because there's a lot of amazing bands over there that
Yes.
probably don't get no airplay here at all. So
And the
just because-
fans, man, the European fans
Oh, yeah, they're
amazing. We were doing a show in Berlin where, like, to get to the stage, you had to go literally through the crowd in this, like, old, like how Berliners are.
Oh wow.
World War II stuff, it's like a bunch of people, and then they open the crowd, and then you walk through it, and then you get on the stage, and you
That's
play,
crazy.
right? And it was we were doing, I think it was like our first album. We ran out of songs, right? And then we're like, okay, we're done, and they had to open the crowd for us to go, and the Germans are like, no, you're not. You got to. We need more. So we literally improvised for like 15 minutes of this hardcore stuff, And when we were done, it's okay, good. And then they opened the crowd, and then we were able to walk. It was so cool,
Wow.
man. It was so great. Like that. That's so much fun.
I obviously I've never been to over to Europe, but I mean just to see some of like live concert footage, whether it's actual concert 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 video, or if it's just a live performance music video. Because I mean, a lot of bands, they'll do that. They'll do a music video, just them playing a live performance, whatever. But any live setting footage I've seen from over there, it has always blown me away, the reception that metal bands get over there, and to a slightly lesser extent in Latin America,
Oh my,
whether it's in Mexico, Central America, South America, or whatever.
yeah.
Um, I get a little envious of the reaction that bands get from fans from those parts of the world, because I've been to, all the shows I've been to have been here in the United States, and I've been to you know festivals, and I've been to shows where the only people who showed up by and large are the other bands, and like maybe me and Jason and his wife, so the shows I've been to have like literally run the gamut from small to massive, and stadium shows, at a hockey arena, or just a little hole in the wall bar, so one of the things I like to pay attention to when I'm at a show is, in it, obviously the band on stage, but I like to see what the people watching the show, how involved they are. And there's been some times where I've been like looking around and like, why did half of you people even bother to come here? Not that I'm upset that they're there, because anybody who attends a live metal show is doing a good thing, because that's where the bands make their money, the merch, the ticket sales, and all that. But I mean, to go to a show and act like you'd rather be somewhere else, I just don't understand. I mean, how do you not feel something? So that's just one thing, and I don't understand that. I've been to some shows where the crowd has been dead, and I just don't understand it. I don't get it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not trying to tell anybody how to fan or anything, but I mean, it's just so strange, because like I say, I'll watch something. I'll watch, like, I remember when I know you guys have probably seen it, but like the Iron Maiden Flight 666 movie, you guys have seen that. But talking about they're going over to all, they're going to all of these European shows, and they go down into like Chile and Argentina and Brazil and everything. I mean, and just watching the video of them playing the show, you can feel the energy of the crowd just on the TV, and it's just like, I mean, why don't we do, why don't, because it's like, I very seldom witness that level of energy from a crowd in the United States, and I'm just
Well,
another fan. I mean, I'm not even on stage playing, but I mean, it's like I watch that and I notice it's like it's like our I don't know.
the
It's
answer
almost
is
like, it's
simple,
like, are,
Chris.
are we? It's like, are we so selfish as fans
No,
in
no,
America
no.
that we
It's
don't? I
not.
don't, I
No,
don't
look.
get it.
Give American people a lot more credit than they deserve, coming from an immigrant. Now a citizen, Mr. Ice. I got a passport, pay my taxes. Hey, settle down. But I think that the problem with America is that we have everything. Every fucking, you go to a store and there's like 70 different kinds of peanut butter.
Yeah, that's
In
true.
Latin America, when I was there, and I remember I went to a show, it was Napalm Death, Sacred Rite, and Sepultura during the Schizophrenia tour.
Damn.
Jesus Christ.
It was amazing. It was a fucking incredible. And Laberinto, which is a Venezuelan band, was opening. But the thing is that when you go to the shows in Latin America, your brain goes, "This is the first and probably last time I'm gonna see this band."
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, like I don't know when they're gonna come again. This might be like a life changing experience for me because this might be the only time I get to see Iron Maiden
Yeah.
until I die. Right? So you go there with this vibe. You save for 9 months to get a ticket, and you go in there with this vibe and T-shirt, which are super expensive.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And you go in there, and it's now like instead of just going to a show, it's like going to a life changing experience that you're gonna remember for the rest of your life. Over here, you're like, if you miss the Maiden show, you go, I'll go next month, fuck it,
That's
or
right.
I'll go next year when they come back, or I'll go to the other what, blah blah blah, and it's a privilege, but it has made us like
Spoiled.
take it for granted.
Yeah.
That's what it is, but it's not our fault. They may we live in a ripping country, so fuck it. That's what happens.
Mhm.
It's only up to us to decide whether we want to make it into an experience or not. It's not the music. It's not anything else. It's us. You do it. We do it. When I took my son, my 10-year-old, to see Maiden at Aftershock, and I said we're going in the pit. We're either coming out of here alive or not. So we're gonna go all the way into the pit. I put him on my shoulders with my brother, and we got in. And when things started to get rowdy, and I have my kids on my shoulder, and I'm like, "Oh fuck, I think I fucked up," Then I feel something in my back like this, and I look around, and there's a freaking chain of like about 8 metalheads surrounding me and my son, so we don't get hurt.
Yeah.
And I was like, "That's it. That's metal." My son was like, "This is like the nicest people ever." I'm like, "That's metal. That's metal."
It is.
Yeah,
It is.
he was probably a contact guy from all the weed. That's why he was like, "Oh my god."
Well, sure. Yeah. Absolutely.
Right. I did tell him like, "Man, if you
So-
get hungry for like McDonald's after this show, you got high."
So you had your work cut out for you because he was about limp too. So it was
Yeah, like-
you had limp weight on top of your.
Yeah, no, but it was amazing. Like the camaraderie of these kids and these people. They're like literally forming a chain around me and my son.
I will say that example that you talked about, even though, I did just say, what is it with us American, metalhead fans? Like, why are we so just, like you say, feel like we're just kind of like, I've been there and done that, and I can do it again next week if I want. But say what you want, the experiences that I have had at shows, I mean, everyone is all. Of course, there are always outliers, especially when
Right.
like when we went to Louder Than Life last year. I've never been to an event, like even when I was going to Ozfests, but I've never been to an event where there were that many people in one spot, all at once. So, I mean, just because of law of averages, obviously when you get to an event, the more and more people, there's the chance there's going to be one asshole, and then there was one at one point. I think we were watching.
But then I left, so it was.
we were watching Cannibal Corpse, and my daughter and I, we were standing up against the barricade. We were kind of like stage left a little bit. We weren't stage center, but we were watching Cannibal Corpse, and they ended up. Security had to go and get the Louisville police because there was a guy who was groping the female crowd surfers. So they dragged his ass out, deservedly so. But I mean, other than that, I mean, everyone there, I mean, when you're shoulder to shoulder with people like that in a setting like that, you're bumping into people, and people are mostly, pretty much everyone's drinking all day, and it's hot, and it's just, but with that one exception, I mean, you bump into somebody and you're like, oh man, my bad. And you're like, oh man, that's cool. So, I mean, everyone is, 99.999 repeating, percent of people in that kind of setting, they're cool. And the whole thing about the mosh pit, someone gets knocked down, you fucking pick them up. And then so, they don't get hurt, and they get back into it. And they do. They watch out for each other. They watch out for the little kids. And I know you guys have probably seen the videos on social media. It was like, hey, this is, let's get like an 8-year-old kid, and this is his first mosh pit. And what are they doing? They're letting the little kid like throw his weight around, and they're acting like he's doing shit. But I mean, they're giving him an experience.
Right.
You know, the people who in the wheelchairs who get picked up and they're allowed to, they crowd surf the guy in the wheelchair to the front. You know, so, you know, we 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 get a bunch of shit as metalheads, but I mean, when it really comes down to it, when we're all together in a gathering situation, you know, we're all cool people.
That's
So,
so
but at
awesome.
the same time, we're all still humans. So every now and then you do get the one prick, but then you just deal with him and then you move on. So,
Great. Well, metalheads unite, bro.
Yeah.
That's what
absolutely.
it is. David, all quiet there in the corner with your. You know that Jesus Christ is watching us. You know, I was like, "Fuck, is that Jesus?" Right? I'm like, "Hello, that's David." All
Wait,
quiet.
waiting
It's
for
been very insightful, and it's been kind of like a super fun conversation with you guys. Like talking about rabbit holes. We kind of gone down several, and
yeah.
I am kind of quiet sometimes, but yeah, it's been pretty fun, having this conversation with you all.
Yeah, man.
So kind of reel it back into you guys a little bit since we've kind of gotten off of that for a minute. So who mainly does the vocals on the stuff here?
David.
Yeah, that's one of Pancho's friends. He goes by Ives Muir.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's his artistic name, but he's a super talented musician. Pancho has shown me some of his compositions, and this guy is like literally like a music genius. Sometimes like I don't know, like me and Pancho, we talk about this, and we don't understand how he writes the lyrics, and the cadence and the the rhythm, the rhythmic aspect of the lyrics, with our music, with the context of our music. Sometimes we kind of going through these like weird timings or like weird, like um, parts, and like he always kind of has his angle to like approach the song, and it's pretty interesting. Very fortunate to be able to work with him, for most of the songs. We also did a song with Paige Hamilton from Helmet,
Yep.
and that was also pretty cool. Also, one of Pancho's friends, he can probably tell you a little bit more about him, but yeah, having him in the track was pretty awesome. He brought like the energy that we needed.
Mhm.
I
Yeah,
think
Paige
you
is a
got.
great guy.
Yeah, I think you guys have a pretty unique sound going. I think so. I know when I first heard, I don't remember which track I heard first. Maybe it was on Civil War. I can't remember, but just listening to it, I'm just like, man, this is like I don't know if I've ever heard a real good fusion of grunge and metal before, as much as I do you guys. And I know it says I know you guys are kind of dipping into punk and stuff too a little bit. Of course, I mean most rock acts do, but but yeah, I definitely heard the grunge and the metal aspect kind of fusing together really well with whatever you guys are doing. So I mean, it's pretty amazing to hear. Like I said, there's so many genres out there now that it's almost hard to like do anything unique. So people start combining them. Like deathcore and all this other stuff where there's death metal and metalcore, and then they're doing symphonic death metal now, and so it's like it's all these different things that you almost have to like fuse two together to make something different now. So it's cool and like a lot of times it works, and sometimes I hear stuff and I'm like, so
Well,
it's
I
like,
mean,
so I mean, but it's like but you don't know if you don't try. I mean, I
oh,
ain't gonna give
absolutely.
them. I'm not gonna give anybody no flat because I can't do the shit. So I mean,
Same.
it's like if you're playing something, you're already 10 times better than me.
Yeah.
So
That's why we have a podcast because we don't have a band.
that's right. Yeah, I only know how to talk shit. So
Yeah. Well, the sound it was interesting, and that's why calling shit. What's his artistic name, David? I only know him by his real name.
Ives Mir,
Ives Muir.
yeah.
I gotta remember. I almost blew his name out
blew
on
his cover,
live.
almost blew his.
Yeah,
You gave away a super identity there.
yeah. Anyway, no, he's not a singer. He's a jazz composer, arranger for strings, and like but he had when we went to Berkeley together. We were in college together, and he had a metal kind of trio, the Black Wolf Orchestra, and I used to go see him rehearse, and I used to go see him rehearse, and he was like the first like badass that I met like when I came to the States, and I was like, holy shit, like this is the standard, and we stayed friends for till now, like almost 30 years later. And so when this came up to do it, I didn't want like a cookie cutter vocals because I actually wanted to make sure people understand what we're trying to say, because that was the important part of it. So
Yeah.
so Steve has a really there. I just blew it. Whatever.
Said his name.
Just fucking blew it. Sorry, bro. Hey, fuck. God damn it. Anyway, he has a great voice.
Now I got to go back and beat that out.
Yeah. I'm not gonna tell you his last name is Peplin. Anyway, but he has a great voice, and what I like about him is that like I always wanted like grunge. The only thing about grunge that I didn't like is it didn't get heavy enough for me.
Same.
And he was like, man, the singers over like a heavier riff or something, it would have been great, but it never happened. So with Steve, kind of like we took it there and he worked. Like you guys are saying, it was just like, oh shit, this is like Soundgarden, but like really loud Soundgarden.
That's exactly what I thought. Yeah.
Well, I mean, hell, shit. I thought there were, as far as the grunge aspect goes, I mean, I was like, I was listening to Swallows. Like, there's some Alice in Chains in there,
I was
and
about to say that. Yeah.
Far From Right. I was like, hell, this kind of leans a little suicidal, and then, and then the funny thing is I listened to the songs all week, and there is in Uncivil War, there is a sound to Uncivil War that has been gnawing at me all fucking week, because I was listening to Uncivil War, and in a good way, not in a good way, but I'm listening to Uncivil War, and I'm like, what the fuck does this sound like? Because as soon as I started listening to that song, I was like, this sounds like a song. I know, I swear I've heard this song before, not note for note, of course, but I was like, where have I heard this before? And even sitting here now talking to you guys, it's like I cannot nail down.
What is it now?
I don't know. That's the thing is.
When we were doing doing the thing, the singer, I'm gonna call him, he sent me like an idea of the melody on the piano, like him playing the piano like with a melody.
Yeah, that
and it
piano...
sounds like a completely another song. That it's like he wrote a song to put on top of this song.
Yeah, that's actually what got me, because the intro was, because even listening to the piano intro, I was like, all right, this rhythm sounds so familiar. Where have I heard it?
Sounds like an old chant of some kind, like an anthem.
Yeah, and I don't know where I've heard it before, because I'm like, this is so familiar.
Right.
And like I say, even sitting here now, it may pop into my head one day. I don't know, but I was listening to just the intro before the song even started. I'm like, I've heard this, something similar to this somewhere, and it's like, because something always kind of pops into our head while we're listening to this. Some sort of, okay, this could be influenced by X and Y and Z or whatever. So just
production-wise, I can tell you, like when we were doing like. I remember when I was young listening to that Fate No More song that was heavy and ended up in the piano.
Epic, yeah.
Epic, yeah.
So I kind of like, I loved that when that happened. I was not a fan of Fate No More.
That was
such a cool like contrast. So in my subconscious, like I wanted to do something like that.
It was a very interesting twist to put on that song, especially when it came out. Talking about Epic, yeah, and to a lesser extent, I think that the little piano outro to Closer by 9 Inch Nails is kind of like the same thing.
Correct.
Yes.
I did it with Film on the first album. Same thing. One of the songs. I think it's stuck in the back of my head because it feels just so good, like
Yeah.
after something hectic to just let it fade away.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is definitely a mix of like a heavier grunge, and it just happened, I just with the way it's been sung, uh, primarily, like I said, the singer had to be eloquent because of the lyrical content of our material that it's important to spread. So I couldn't have a metalcore singer because then you don't really
Right.
understand what the words are,
Yeah.
especially if you're like me, Spanish speaking. I want to make sure that the lyrics are clear enough because otherwise, I don't get them. So with Steve, he writes really nice like poetry. He's a writer. He's a very scholar, so his writing is really really nice. Like you can almost read it as a poem, and it's pretty cool.
Well, I mean, and it's not well, and the funny thing is it's not just you guys don't have a singer that just sings completely clean all the time.
Yes.
So I mean, it's a really nice mix. But again, you can still understand. I mean, you can still. It's all still lyrically and vocally coherent. There are no bottom of the reach down in your soul. I can hear it, but I can't understand it. Just those bottom out gutturals on it. Nothing
Right.
like
Right.
that.
Right.
So not that there's anything wrong with that, but it's just one of those things. It's like if that's kind of one thing I've always been like, all right, we know that there are like when you're listening to Corpse Grinder sing for Cannibal Corpse, it's like, all right, he's singing,
Yeah.
but
But I gotta read the booklet.
do you always know what he's saying? So I mean, it's like so
It's funny. That's probably why Latin people love core, and like I used to love Slayer because I didn't speak English back then, so I did not know what they were saying. It was just purely the music,
yeah,
right? And
yeah.
then when I grew up and I learned to speak English, and then I got some Slayer albums, and then my little brother comes and he starts reading Slayer lyrics, and I was like, that is really fucked up, bro. Like, I'm like, bro, what are you talking about? Like South of Heaven lyrics, and I'm like, was that what? No wonder my parents were losing it. And it was all the music for me, and I didn't, it was no lyric. It's so funny. But yeah, Page also is an incredible writer. Like
Yeah.
Page's lyrics are super well put together and very to the point. He's a great friend. He's such a humble guy. For being Page Hamilton. Uh, a really good musician too. Crazy, very crazy head for music. Page, very talented and like a down to earth guy. Like I said, for a rock star of his caliber, dude. I mean, it's fucking Helmet is such a legendary band.
Hmm.
He's just like us. T-shirt and freaking whatever. Like he no pretentious, no nothing. And I like that. There's other friends that are gonna collaborate aside from Page and what was his name again? Ivory's Meyer, Meyer, whatever. Pfizer. I don't know. And
Pfizer.
yeah, there's other friends that we've pulled together.
He gonna give you a shot. Man.
Yeah, man. And send us some money. I'll put the vaccine. Yeah. And we have Angelo Moore from Fishbone. He's jumping. He's such a busy guy, so it's gonna be a challenge to get him in one place. But that's been already confirmed. He's a good dear friend, and a very loud voice in punk. So we need that. Another friend is Corey from Living Color.
Oh, Corey
Um,
Lover.
I don't,
Yeah. Hell yeah.
and I don't know what we're gonna write for this one, but that's the challenge and that's the beauty. I don't know what to write, but
Well,
uh,
that says a lot, but for Corey too, because I mean Corey doesn't have to do anything because CM Punk's still making him profits. So, but
Oh
well,
God, yeah.
well, like
Yeah,
I
he is.
said, Corey and Angelo and Paige and David and Andres, and everybody around here. Um, it's just, we're friends and we're together. We're metalheads unite. If it has a purpose, which this one does, if they have the time, they're gonna they do it. You know what I'm saying? Corey is a sweetheart. That guy
Yeah,
is a
Corey's a good dude.
gentleman, bro. Like he is top notch citizen, top notch, a legend.
Mhm.
He's
And
very, I think he's a very versatile vocalist too, man.
Yes, yes, he
He's,
is.
bro, we had a band with George Lynch, me and Corey, guitar
oh
player.
no,
Yeah,
Holy
Jesus Christ!
shit!
called Ultraphonics. Look it up. It came out right before COVID got swamped. It
Oh,
was
I
released on,
remember that. I remember
yeah,
that. Yes.
UVR, me, Corey, and Chris on drums. Great drummer too. And he got drowned from all the COVID stuff. But what he brings when he goes heavy, dude, is just like holy fuck.
Yeah.
Like it really makes it like whoa. So the plan is to like just make some noise. We have the core band with David, Andres, me, and I literally, and we're- and then we're just gonna like um we're gonna try to bring a bunch of guests, a lot of voices, different voices. We do have that core sound, that metal grunge core sound, which I think is fantastic. It's like identity, but some songs might change and in sound because of the different elements that we want to bring.
Sure,
The different
absolutely.
voices. But I think we're welcome. If we're welcoming and Jim de Putrine, those guys with the funny nose and the microtonal thing, people are getting into the weird shit because they're
Yeah.
sick and tired of the common shit from the robots and like the Instagram girls, and like we're done with that. We want the real shit now.
Yeah.
Think of food. Everybody loved McDonald's until they got sick of it, and then the organic food movement and Whole Foods, and we want real shit. That's happening to music pretty soon, where it's gonna have to be from farm to table. Like I want human-made music only.
Oh, well, that's I mean, hell,
And that's great. I mean,
that's all I want. Yeah.
yeah, it's gonna bring the prize exclusivity. People are gonna, how it's an engine, it's a search engine. I think the appealing part about it right now is gonna be able to know about someone that nobody knows. That you're the only one. Like before, like we were saying, I found this band when I went to Miami on vacation. It's called Wasted Youth. Nobody had it. I was the
Yeah.
only one in the city with that tape from Wasted Youth, and I have friends, lines of friends coming with a little TDK so they can
God,
dump the
TDK.
cassette.
Jesus.
What I'm saying? Can you dump me that tape? And I will be like dumping that tape, and then I spread that Wasted Youth cassette to like 25 friends. You know what I'm saying? Just because that was the vibe. So
Mhm.
that's why I love what you guys are doing. Again,
Yeah.
not to sound
Well,
redundant, but
So I guess it's more because I'm old school, so I remember like the Metal Edge magazines where you'd open it up
right.
and you'd have to like go down and see like, oh well, this band. It's like a little thing in a corner or something of one of the pages where you'd be like, oh well, this band. If you want to get this CD, you can mail them at this address or whatever, and send them a check, and they send you the CD in the mail or a gift package in the mail or
Right.
whatever. I remember the thing that got me thinking about that because I remember back in the I don't know, this was like 90s, like 80s, 90s, I guess, but there was a band called Dogma from California. They were a metal band. They weren't the Dogma that we see today. It was a whole different. They were all guys, but they sent me. I got like the CD of their sample music, like 5 or 6 songs, and then their stickers and posters. They gave a big deal of everything. But that's how you had to go about doing things back then. You couldn't go to Spotify and just type in something and listen to it first. You mailed that out in hopes that it was good because you didn't know. It's like
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
and then when you got it, you were like, oh, thank God. It's like
And it's like the whole digital thing. Also, it didn't help with our brains because when you had a cassette, you listen to a song, and it was so annoying to fast forward and rewind. You just fucking play
oh
the whole
God,
song till the
yes,
end and
yeah.
wait. Go clean the dishes, and then the song ends, and then now you can fast forward to 50 songs. You
Yeah.
hear 1 bar, 2 bars, and you're like, I'm not feeling bleak, 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 bleak.
I'm guilty of that.
Yeah.
I'm guilty
Yeah,
of that.
and I think me too, but that sucks because
It
what
does.
if we miss on like that
Yeah.
bridge that was like, oh shit,
That's
that
true.
bridge, those 8 bars that made the whole song, and we missed it now because
You
That's
remember you remember you used to go to like Vans Warped Tour and stuff and get those compilation discs of bands that
yes,
weren't like they were pretty much the compilation discs of the bands that didn't make that tour, but
yes,
they had put in the auditions, so they wanted you to know who they were, even though they didn't make the stages, which I thought was cool.
dude,
But,
the concert T-shirt page on the Metal Hammer magazine that you can like pick
oh
the.
yeah.
Bro, dude, that was so
Yeah.
much fun.
Yeah.
Oh man. But
Yeah.
anyway, well, things are
I
changed, so
could.
we gotta change with the things,
You
unfortunately.
do, yeah.
Yeah.
Not
Well, it was
not
one of the things
sell
that
out.
bothered. One of the things that bothered me is I shared this and I talked to Chris and Dana about this over during the week. I shared this video on our group page, and it was a band, and it sounded great, dude. It was like it looked good, it sounded good, and I was like, this is total AI. The whole thing, the video was AI, the music production was AI. I said it's getting too good. You know what I mean? It's getting too good. The thing that I think the problem is going to have is you're going to do all this, but then what do you do? What do you do for live shows? Go out there with a fucking stereo and just play on the shit. Like, what the fuck you
An
gonna do?
iPhone like this. Plug your
Yeah,
iPhone.
like I mean, like it's good. Like you can make good music.
Well,
Like,
there is a business. Look,
but
there is a
it's
business that I am profiting from actually, where I get all these Suno demos from
yeah,
these kids in town, you know, and they tell me, hey, can you humanize my demo? Can you replay the bass line? Can you replay the guitar part? Can you add a guitar solo? You know, the drums, I could do them, but it would cost so much money to do the drums. But we leave the drum, whatever, and then I'll probably mix it, make it a little greasier. But like I retrack human parts, I put human parts. I actually
yeah.
even leave some mistakes on it, and go, and then you give it back to them. They're like, oh my god, that's great. It sounds a little messy, and I'm like, yeah, great. You know, and
Yeah.
so there is some sort of business with it, which is for us, the older
Right.
cats, it might be good, it might be profitable, to humanize your music,
hmm
but I
I
think,
just
I don't know.
I just feel like I feel like it's made for more people like me. I write lyrics, but I can't play anything.
Yeah,
So I think
or
it's good for me to want to put my lyrics to something.
or if
But
you have
but I don't feel like I don't feel like I'd want to put it on Spotify to make money off of it because
right,
I just
right,
want to hear
right.
what my song would sound like if say you guys were performing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the
But
problem was when people figure out how easy it was to make money by doing this.
right, exactly.
It takes you 5 minute prop and like 5 minute for the machine to do the stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and that's it. Like something that would take you a month, or
Mm-hmm.
and I can see the reasoning. If you're a marketing company, if you're in there to make money, or I like, do it quick, save yourself the headache. But if you're doing art and you're using AI, you're just a fucking poser, dude.
Yeah. I feel like I feel like if they're going to do the AI thing, I think it's okay, but I think you're going to have it's got to be regulated somewhere because if not, then it's going to get too far out of hand, and then it's just going to it's going
But
to.
it is too far out of hand to the point where it's hard to know now what is real and
Right,
what not.
exactly. And that's what I was making a point of when I posted the
Yeah,
video. I said, "Dude, this is total AI," and it's like
yeah. The
it's
thing is,
so good. It's like
what saves
they had all their fingers, and it's kind
Yeah.
what saves us, ultimately is the oldest profession. It's getting up on a fucking piece of wood with your
yeah,
amp. That's that's all we have left, and people are gonna be willing to pay to see that more than they're gonna be willing to pay. Marvel, all the Marvel guys got fired now, right, by Disney. A
oh
thousand
wow,
of the guys that reinvented the Marvel universe just got caned from Disney because of AI. 1,000 illustrators, right?
Jesus
Um,
Christ,
this is a chaos, but it happened earlier back in the day when they fired all the actors and Charles Chaplin started United Artists
hmm
and they took over. So I'm sure this is going to happen where all these 1,000 illustrators are gonna start their own shit, and when it comes to show the kids that are hardcore comic, like my kids, they're never gonna go see an AI generated movie if there's a movie generated by real dudes.
No.
I actually
You know?
saw something not too long ago, relatively recently, where Disney is actually bringing illustrators back. They're not
Really?
Yeah, they're not. I mean, it's not a mass rehiring or anything, but they're I wish I knew where I'd seen it, but they are beginning to reverse course on that
Yeah, of course.
because they realize that
They're losing money. That's what they
yeah,
realize.
Yeah,
yeah.
they're
They
gonna
realize
lose.
they realize that that by and large, people do want the genuine art, and they
Yeah.
want to know that somebody was sitting at a desk
Yeah.
and actually physically producing what they're looking at. So
Use the robot at the fucking park.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah,
okay, when you go to Disney,
Yeah, the
actually,
an-
when you
yeah,
go
the
to
an-
Disney,
the
you get
animatronics.
the robot there.
Yeah.
It was either that or Stan Lee was haunting their ass, going, "Hey, you motherfuckers!" You know.
Well,
Right, right.
whatever it
Right.
was. So, whatever it was, we are slowly getting the human aspect back, and that's the thing is I hope. Well, hell, I saw this last night. This last night. This is something completely different, but China, and however you feel about China, but China actually just passed. Yeah, China actually just passed a law that said that that they made it illegal to replace whatever your business is. China made it illegal to replace the human aspect with an AI counterpart for profitability. So in China,
Wow.
it's in China they just made it illegal to replace a human worker with an AI worker, just so you could make more money in your business.
Huh.
Yeah, I saw that actually last night. Now that I think about it, the Disney thing I saw within like the last couple of weeks or something. But yeah, the thing I saw about China, I saw that last night. So yeah, so there won't be any Chinese workers losing out. Like, hey, we bought a robot to replace these 5 humans. They made that shit illegal in China. So
Well, it sucks that that's the only place where that's happening is where they have freaking slave labor.
Yeah,
Maybe-
right. Yeah.
That's
maybe
true,
You want,
yeah.
Maybe you wanted a robot there. That's where you wanted the fucking robot. Like, no, we're
it's
gonna keep our
ironic.
slaves.
It is ironic.
Yeah.
Oh my god, are we crazy, dude?
The whole world's nuts,
Holy
man. Like,
mother of Jesus! Like,
you know,
seriously.
a good example of how AI is ruining the comic book thing is the last Flash movie. That shit was horrible, dude.
I haven't even seen it, dude.
It's garbage, man.
Wow.
I mean, the whole CGI and AI part of it was just garbage.
You know,
Like,
I'm
it's-
so old. The last movie I rented by choice was Red Dawn, the original.
Holy shit!
Dude, I was like, I gotta watch a good movie. Rambo,
Oh, yeah.
First Blood.
I remember that. I remember Red Dawn.
Oh,
Actually, when Red Dawn first came, when Red Dawn had come out, and then I think it hadn't been out too long. Me and my mom, that's a funny story. Me and my mom was in a store. I was probably like 14 or 15 at the time. So me and my mom were at the store. This lady was freaking out and shit, and we were just like, "Oh man, does she need help? I mean, what's going on with her?" And then the lady was like, "Hey, it's Patrick Swayze," and my mom goes, "Where? Hell, shit, sign me up."
Yeah.
And she says, "He's right there with you." And I'm like, "Who, me?" Like, what the fuck? She thought I was I look like Patrick Swayze from Red Dawn. I'm like, what the
Damn!
fuck?
Your first MILF experience.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Dude, Red Dawn, it was the first time that I officially got crushed by a girl as a child. One of the 2 girls, the brunette one. I literally like fell in love with a girl as a kid, as a 9-year-old, whatever. I was like, oh my god, where can I find you? And it was bad, dude. Red Dawn, so funny.
Yeah. I think it was Kelly LeBrock in Weird Science for me, probably.
Oh my god. Yeah, Raquel Welch.
Oh
that was
yeah.
Oh yeah, and the old
Barbarella, dude. When I saw that,
Yeah.
and I was like, why is this happening to my penis, Dad? I'm like 9. What's happening? It's like 8. Oh my god,
yeah.
my penis died. It's all stiff. You know?
then by the time she was in her 60s, 70s, or whatever, you just like, now she's a MILF. Like, damn. Like,
Yeah.
it's like,
Bro.
no.
Anyway, too hot, man. Those ladies. But yeah, um,
Jesus Christ.
we forget to tell you, like back to our little band. Um, another guest that we're having come up is this friend of ours. Well, more friend of Andres and David. Her name is Emilia. She sings in this very famous uh, metal band. What type of music would that be?
It's definitely like on the modern side. Has like a lot of we'll say Meshuggah influence type
Okay.
stuff.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. The name of the band is called Mini Pony,
Mini pony.
right? And it's
Yeah.
a trio. Those guys, you should like enter. Those guys are fucking brutal, and she sings and screams and plays keyboards on it. You know, she's got a great vibe on stage. So she's gonna be singing, doing a duet with our singer for the next song, which is kind of like a traditional Colombian cumbia, but all metal.
Mhm.
You know, it's like there's no like, it's all like metal, but with a traditional Latin American rhythms, and
That's cool.
they work really well. It was impressive, you know how heavy it was. You know, so
I love when bands kind of, I like, of course, I like it when they're doing the American versions where we can understand it, but I also like when they dip into their heritage too a little bit.
Yeah, I like
Even
like
if they put a
when
song or two on there, I can't understand. I don't care. That's fine.
I do I do
I do like to appreciate that they stick to their heritage and
yeah,
I do like when I'm listening to an album, from a band that, not it's not a domestic band and there is something sang in the native tongue. I actually do like that.
yeah.
yeah. Well, you know, I as a imported metalhead, I believe, like adding traditional rhythms in metal from other countries is great. It's
Mhm.
fabulous because soccer, but metal is a style that should be sang in English only, to my opinion. Once you sing metal in Spanish or Japanese, or it kind of you take a little chunk of the attitude of it. Maybe
Mhm.
because he was created here in the States, like primarily. I don't know why. To me, when I hear other bands and if they're doing really cool metal, but if it's in a different language, it kind of drops the notch a little bit. I don't know why it is. You know. So
Well, it's like there's a Samoan metal band I found years ago called
yeah.
Shepherd's Rain, and they do a lot of the Samoan tribal stuff in their songs, which I think is pretty cool. It
Mhm.
actually works really well. And then like we got the Who and
Yeah,
bands like that
yeah.
that's tend to go into their native
Well,
stuff a
hell,
little bit. So
from what hell, my experience with the Who, I don't does the Who even sing in English?
I don't
I
know.
think
I
they
think maybe rarely, but I
I don't
think
know.
maybe they do a time or two. But
I think their stuff is primarily in Mongolian, but talking about bands that do that. I mean, we've discussed them before, but Alien Weaponry from New Zealand, they
yeah,
throw the Maori language in there because
yep,
they're doing their best to try to keep that language alive through their music,
right.
You see, but
and
yeah, that's
and
different though. That's
yeah,
because
but
it's all traditional. It's all
Right.
like that. It's like
sure,
traditional rhythms and tradition, and but heavy.
yeah,
And it's like what I'm
and
saying is like, yeah, we're doing like something that sounds like Slayer, for instance, on purpose,
Right.
and
right,
you
yeah, yeah,
sing it
yeah.
in Spanish. It's like,
Well, the funny thing
yeah,
is, about that when you're trying to do like when you're trying to like if you're trying to do a direct cover, the bad thing is when you have to worry about something that literally gets lost in translation because there are words that don't translate from one particular
Right.
language to English. So it's like if you're gonna do you don't have a word for it, how the hell are you gonna sing the song?
right,
Because that's the thing is like, because
yeah,
I'm not fluent in Spanish. Don't get me wrong, but every now and then I'll hear something that I can translate because I do pick up on some words and I can like kind of glean context from what I did understand, and I'll try to tell my wife, she'll be like, "Do you understand what they're saying?" And I'll be like, "Kind of, but I don't." Because I don't have that fluency, so it's like I understood this word and this word and this word, and I can try to put it together, and I'll be like, I think they said this, and I think they said that, but I wouldn't be able to go to a Spanish speaking country and be able to have a casual conversation with a native, because all my experience with when I learned Spanish was all from my point of view. I learned everything from my point of view. I could probably communicate well enough, but at a conversational pace like what we're having, my ear can't process incoming Spanish at a pace that I can, convert it over to. I knew exactly what you were saying. If there's something that I want to say to you, I can probably figure it out at a pace that I need to get it out and to you.
Right.
So that's always been my problem with Spanish. I kind of wish I would, and I guess I can, but I just never have gotten to a point where because I had 3.5 years of it in high school. So I got relatively far with it, and like I say, every now and then because I've got one of my buddies that I've known for like 30 some odd years. He came down from New York, and he's a GM transplant like I am, because he came down like a year after I did, because our fathers got hired in over at Saturn, and so I got to know him because he moved in across the street from us. Well, they're from Cuba, so obviously if you go to their house, they're speaking to each other in Spanish, which I mean obviously is their first language. So over the years, and even knowing them as long as I've known them, when I go to their house and they're having a party or whatever, it's like I can't understand a damn word you're saying, but that's the thing, is they're talking they're speaking Spanish at their conversational pace, and it's just like my brain doesn't process it that fast, but so I kind of wish I would have become fluent in it just to be able to be fluent in another language. But when you have, because there are a lot of words in English that just flat out don't exist in other languages, and I'm sure vice versa. So if you're trying to incorporate, like you said, English lyrics into your version of a song, hell, you run the genuine risk of not being able to sing a part of a lyric because we don't have a word for that. Pick a language, it'd be like, hey, we don't have a word for that. So it's like, you try to get close, and then you're like, well, that doesn't make any sense. Well, we didn't have a word for that. So, and there've actually been some bands that have come on the show, and they're like, I remember when we interviewed Source of Rage. Remember Jason? You remember that they were a little worried that they weren't. They're like, well, obviously they're from Germany, and all of their music is in English, but they had some trepidation before they came on the show. They're like, we're not 100% sure how well we're going to be able to communicate. And then they came on the show, and I can remember I can remember like maybe once or twice where he got kind of tripped up, where he's like, he was like trying to tell us something. He's like,
think of a word.
Yeah. He was like, I don't know this word. And then we were like, do you mean this? And he's like, yeah, that's what I mean. So, I mean, we've been able to kind of help some of our foreign bands come on and, get through. And, we had a band just recently who we were going to have come on the show, and I'm wanting to say they were a Spanish-speaking band too, and they were very, because they found out that we live stream, and they were like, well, we're not 100% comfortable with coming on to do a live stream because English, we are not very, very strong English speakers, so we're still kind of trying to work something out.
Just strong English singers. They were just
so we're still trying to work,
which is crazy, but that's.
Yeah, so we're still trying to work something out, but we understand, we understand.
Well, and that's the thing when you go back to what Paulo said earlier, is being organic. I think that's part of like the organic process here is being live, and even if the mishaps happen, they happen. If
that's what we like about it, though.
Yeah. I mean, we've gotten stories told on here that probably wouldn't normally gotten told if we were just recording and at a different time or something. You never know. I mean, some things just come up organically in conversation, and then you just kind of, some of the best stories we've heard come up organically during conversations. So
Yeah, if you're recording a podcast just to edit it, you may not get the guitarist mispronouncing the singer's name and all this other
yeah,
stuff, calling him by a different name or anything else.
or
Right.
calling a singer out, kind
I
of Mysterio him like Spider-Man,
Yeah.
Spider-Man is Peter Parker. What the?
It happened.
So you guys got 3 of these singles in the books. Is that leading up to like an EP or maybe a full length album coming up? Or
Yeah, that was the whole plan put to do some noise, make some noise online by releasing singles every couple months on specific dates. Like our first release was on September 11. The second release was in January 6th, and
wow,
the third release was on Hitler's birthday or 420, which ironically
Oh, wow.
I didn't even know it was Hitler's birthday. It was only for the weed. And then it was against Hitler. I was like, this is fantastic, perfect.
Yeah, even better.
Yeah. So the next release, it's gonna happen somewhere along the lines 2 months from now in some weird day, like some assassination, something. So whatever date that is.
You gotta find out when Joseph Stalin was born or some bullshit like that.
Yeah. Yeah. So exactly. There's a few good holidays coming. Um, so we were picking dates like that on purpose, just to like. Those who are paying attention are gonna notice the pattern.
Yeah.
Like, oh shit, what is going on here? So so like I say, expect the next one to be on a weird date, but like maybe a few months from now, and then when the EP is completed, we're just gonna print vinyl out of it with a nice package. Maybe throw some underwear from David in the sleeve, signed, worn, something special like a golden ticket, maybe do
Yeah.
something creative, like a golden
It's
ticket
fun.
to give away a bass or something
Yeah.
fun, like
You say he's going to sign it right on the G-string part.
yeah, where is Brown?
Yeah, that'll sell well in Germany and in Japan. So
Brian, I'm kidding. Yeah, the Jesus underwear.
Jesus.
So that's the point, and the reason why, just to grab whatever followers we've gathered in this past year or so, funnel them through our own website. We don't have a label because we don't fucking need a label anymore. Before you did. But now we can do all this at home, develop it with our own brains. We all have degrees and careers, of that can understand how things are sold. So, we've been doing this for quite a while. So it is completely independent, but aim to try to be like a tool. Tool did it. That put that in the motto. Like now we can do everything ourselves. Let's try to keep as much that we can to ourselves and funnel everybody to our website so they can buy the album directly from us.
yeah.
If you want to support the military complex, follow us on Spotify. You can find our shit there.
Get your 0.007 cents per play.
Correct. Like rip us off. If you like ripping off artists and destroying, killing little kids with drones, then follow us on Spotify. And then, but also if you really want to support us, then go get our shit from our website.
That's
Direct.
right.
Go to our YouTube page. We have a TV show. We have a TV channel. We have a website. We have studios. We have talent. So we're gonna try to do it all ourselves. Luckily, I've had a very successful career in
I was about
music.
to say just the network you've been able to amass over the years.
In
Yeah.
all the worlds, from Tower Power to War, metal, and like everywhere. I was always focused on being the best as I could be, and not for the likes or the fame. And I've got to know a lot of cool people that are helping now, like Paige, like Angela, like Corey. Uncle Rex, Brown from Pantera. He's one of my mentors. I used to play bass in his band
Oh
when
wow,
he went
okay.
solo, and I sent him the stuff, and he loved it. He said, "Great job," like fucking a, like a big fuck yeah. Same with James from Megadeth. They're really really good supporters. Scott Reeder from Kaya's, he loves our band. So it's all these friends that I met, and then now because of the trajectory, I have the privilege to be able to send them, hey, here's my new rant. What do you think? Give me an advice. You guys have done this before. Am I
Right.
fucking around? Is this good? And it's great. It's a good thing. So, like I said, we're gonna try to do it. Those who wanna like us, love us. Those who hate us with all you got because we love it that you hate us. You know, and
I think from a fan standpoint too. I think a lot of times we get, I don't know. I think we get a little bit out of touch with the way musicians do things. It's like we always think, oh well, this sucks. Okay, well he didn't write the fucking song for you. It's like
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like,
right, right.
the band got in there and said, oh, this is great, and that's all that fucking mattered because they
That's
thought it
right.
was great. They thought it was
That's
great.
right.
If you bought the record, great. If you didn't like it,
Yeah,
oh okay,
and,
oh
and
well.
that's
It's
and
like,
that's the risk of music. I mean, you are making a risky business decision by putting something that you like, thinking that someone else is gonna like it.
yeah,
It's very risque, but
it
but
is.
but when we get again and again for the redundancy, thank you guys, for fucking listening. That's all we need.
Oh, absolutely,
Now I
man.
know there's two worlds that have many worlds within
Yeah,
that know.
it's a metal multiverse, man.
Yeah, that exactly
Yeah.
that are
I like
supportive.
that. Yeah.
You guys are getting what we're trying to say.
It's gonna
You're
be the
not
next
just
T-shirt.
yeah. You're not focused on that Nazi red on our cover because it is
No.
that red is actually called
Mm,
Nazi red
yeah.
on purpose. To like fucking trigger people's. I mean, when you just browse through the album cover and you see red pentagrams, and like all this, and the album is called Far From Right. But if you're
Hmm.
just being stupid, it's gonna read far right, like that,
Uh-huh.
And so I've gotten a lot of hate when we released the stuff with Page on what was it, Decibel magazine, which is not a heavy platform, or
Right.
it's heavy-ish,
No, it's Decibel is not primarily a heavy metal
Metal, yeah.
at
publication. That's
all.
true. That's true. Yeah, that's very
So
true.
we got
It's
how
not like Metal Hammer, Metal Edge. Yeah.
No, at all. But that was purposely to trigger all these fuckers,
Yeah, you know
right?
what? It's. I like that you brought that up because talking about Far From Right. Because when I was listening to that, I was like, "This is." I was like, they named this Far From Right for a reason. It's like I noticed it right away because of exactly what you said. Because someone is going to listen to it, and of course, there's going to be people who are going to freak out about the name of the band anyway.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
my
And
family in Ecuador, bro.
yeah, so it was like the whole thing is like I knew it's like people are going to see the name of the band and they're going to freak out just because of the name of the band. I was like, but the people who can get past the name of the band, there are going to be people who see Far From Right and exactly like you said, take it as far right when that's the purpose of the
All
name of the
right,
song because you couldn't be any more wrong. Far from right means you
all
can't be any
right,
more wrong. So
yeah.
you're going to make all these
Well,
assumptions. You're going to make all these assumptions just based on the name of the band, the name of the song,
The colors, the
yeah. So
communist thing,
yeah,
the dictator.
yeah,
Yeah,
so that pick an aspect in a vacuum, take it and just look at it, and you couldn't be any more wrong, which is Far From Right. So it's when I was listening to that song, I was like, I don't know 100% sure where they're going with this, but I'm pretty
uh,
sure I do.
yeah.
And
Well,
far from right, yeah. So it's like
I mean, it's
so
great, and that's the whole point. We have another song that we're putting out. It's called "Make America Again."
make
Just
America again.
just period, just period. Like go
well,
back
well,
to the fucking drum.
well. That I think you could get a lot of people fall in line with that one because I think that's the thing. We don't need to make America anything else
America.
other than America.
Yeah, I think we
Yeah.
just have to like fucking simplify a little bit, bro.
Right?
You know,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
just like just make
Well, it's
it.
like you put that adjective in there and it pisses everybody off. It's like
Yeah, I mean that's the
Mhm.
whole point. You know, we're here to make you think, and
yeah,
and that was the purpose of the titles. And I mean, on
yeah.
Civil War for this time and space, it's pretty radical. And I was a little worried, as an immigrant putting all this music out. I was like, man, the best thing that could happen is I get deported from it. As, but it would
But well,
suck.
that's the
Oh
thing is
Yeah.
how I mean that's the thing though is like how can you?
yeah.
Oh, you can. When shit goes wrong, dude. Remember, David and I come from the third world, and when shit flips, it flips, and they just don't give a fuck. We
Well,
got we got to understand that that could be a reality, but I don't think Americans are ready to be slaves. I don't think so, dude.
yeah.
I think it's
Well,
gonna end soon.
well, I mean,
I
Yeah.
think
who
I think
knows?
what you I think
I
what you're saying
hope.
about I think what you're saying about like reading stuff too is where we're failing as a society. There's like if you get like a news article, you're I asked somebody the other day. I said, "Well, did you read it?" Well, I proofread it. I said, "Okay, well, what if your teacher just proofread your fucking thesis and then put an A on it? Like, what the fuck, dude? Like, didn't even read the motherfucker.
Right.
Like
Exactly.
Yeah.
you
Exactly.
gotta read everything, dude. It's not. I mean, if if you don't read it, if you read a book, are you just gonna read the preface? You're not gonna read the book. I mean, like,
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
I
gonna
mean, to
you're
go
what?
to
yeah,
go
you're
back
gonna
to that decibel thing. Like we got like how many hate messages we got
It was like 400 messages, like in the
Oh my
post,
god,
like
in the
400
post
comments. Yeah, 400
comments?
comments. Yes.
And it
Jesus
was
Christ!
fucking liberal motherfuckers, communist, freaking fuck the Democrats, like stuff that was like, wow, like, and
And
then like,
that's when I would have said, well, point that out for me because I missed that, obviously.
yeah,
You
and then
know,
yeah, and then like, and then it was that the whole you fucking liberals, and then the other side you like white supremacist,
oh my
KKK
god.
lover, Satan is gay, like I was like, wow, like not one comment that had
Um,
to do with like, hey man, I like that bass line that you're doing, or like
Jesus Christ.
cool guitar solo, it's like it was all you guys are old and decrepit fuckers. God, we pray for you. And I left one comment and just one comment on reply to all that, and I said, we love your hate. Thank you. That's the whole purpose of it. And
Yeah.
so
Well,
it
well
was funny. It
it
is working.
just it just goes to show I mean it just goes to show how ignorant some people can be.
well, we've talked about
How ignorant a lot of people can be to be
well, we
honest with
talked
you.
about this on the show too. It's like me and Chris both are big Machine Head fans. We love Machine Head. Rob Flynn's political side. I mean, sometimes I'm like, okay, I see that. Sometimes I'm like, this dude's off his fucking rocker. Like, I mean, so you just you got to separate the two. Like, I've never been to a Machine Head show and Rob Flynn go upstage and start talking about politics.
Not
He's
once.
never done it. Not since I've seen him.
Not same.
We've seen him several times, but
Yeah.
I think you have to be able to like you can sing about it all you want, but I think you have to separate, you know, being an anthem for it or being a vocal point for it.
Yeah.
If you're going out there, trying to be some talk show host in the middle of a concert, you're going to piss a lot of people
Oh
off.
yeah, you are. Yeah.
Because a fan's there to see the show. They're you created an art. We're there to see the art. We're not here to be persuaded into whatever world you live in or whatever.
Right.
We're,
Right.
it's
It's
like because
ultimately like
we all have our own opinions and our own
correct.
our own like ways to see things. And I mean, I'm not going to change anybody else's thought process on it.
All
They're not going
right.
to change mine. I mean, we can sit there and
Correct.
argue all day. It's not going to go anywhere.
And that's
That's
the
what I don't.
basis of this
I don't
country.
understand. Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
understand the arguments with everything because you're not going to. Nobody's going to give either way. So why the fuck are you even talking about it? Like,
Correct. That is the problem because I think it's not that we're not supposed to say what we think, but it's how we say it. Right
right,
now, we have an administration that is completely based on anger and hate and insults and freaking, maybe some of the stuff they're doing, like, hey, I came from Venezuela. I'm glad they took those motherfuckers out. Like, we don't have to get into it. It's just like I tell my students, don't be political. because that's gay. Like that's poser shit. But be polite, you know. Don't be political. Be polite, you
Right.
know. Get your point across without putting mask on, but do it nicely.
Come
So
on.
then nobody can talk shit about you. You know what I'm saying? Don't insult anybody.
Yeah.
You know, but make your point across. If you don't like something, say it, but say it nice.
Yeah,
You
you
know?
don't have to. That is true. You don't have to be so vitriolic, to someone you don't agree with. That is true. I mean,
Right.
you can have adult disagreements, and that's fine. I mean, because just like you're talking about with with your music. I mean, you make the music you want to make, knowing damn well that you're not going to bat 1,000.
Well,
Nothing you make is going to please everybody.
Correct.
So it's so
well,
you
you could
have
take
you
could
you
probably
have to
take
have that
the most,
understanding. So.
and you could take the most successful metal album ever made, which is probably the Metallica's Black Album, and you could take that as an example because anybody that listened to them the first 4 albums hated that fucking album, dude. They hated that fucking album.
That's the first Metallica album that I did not listen.
Yeah,
Like everything after Injustice for All, every album, every song, everything. When that album came out, I was like, okay, time to
yeah,
move. Time to move to Slayer.
yeah. But I'm just saying that's how it was though, because
Yeah.
but that's the most successful album probably in metal because of
And that's why it probably became successful because it got ripped off from the metal niche into another
Right.
place and it
Right.
opened more ears. And that's great. You know, like Rocco Prestia used to tell me from Tower, my mentor, he said, you know, Pancho, the worst thing is when you sell out and you don't sell shit. And
True.
I
Oh,
was like,
yeah.
I'm like, fucking A, you know, it's like, because he goes, you want to sell out the concert hall, you want to sell your records out, you want to sell out everything you do. But when you sell out and you don't sell shit because you sold out, then you're a fucking poser.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, you know, so yeah, thrive for the success, the monetary success, because that's what we do. You know, that's what we do. Like, it's like,
Well,
you know,
and we've talked before. Like we've said this, and I think somebody that within the Metallica recording process and the earlier album said this too. Said if Cliff Burton was alive, that album would have never happened. You know, because Cliff was the main influence. Nothing, even though they said even though James and Laura started that band, nothing got okay until they went through Cliff, because
I
that's how
mean,
big of
girl.
an influence he had on that band. I mean, hell, he moved the whole band from LA to San Francisco
Yes,
because
he
he's
did.
like, I'm not coming there. I'm not coming there. You want me in the band? You come here.
Yep.
Cliff
Like-
Burton's
like
sister
shit,
lives
you know?
in my town.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's-
bro. Actually, the record store where Metallica got its name from is here in Grass Valley, California.
No shit.
It's
Yeah.
an old record store, like an old beat up record store that I think had like the record store owner had some sort of like thing on the ad called Metallica or something like that. Lars bought her off him. It's right here, like 5-minute walk from my house.
Wow, that's so
Wow.
cool.
It's
That
amazing.
that's like what Jason said earlier. Just you don't get little tidbits of information and
Right.
stories like that without having artists come on. You just
Right.
don't get that shit, man.
Yeah.
Never would. And I didn't even wear a Metallica shirt on purpose. I wore it because it's got long sleeves on it, and it's kind of a little
Hey.
bit of a chilly morning here. So
On a parenthesis, you guys are more than welcome to come up here. If you guys want to come, you guys can stay in my house. Check the town, check the clubs, check the river. It's such a different vibe. Dude. It's like it's not LA. It's not San Fran.
it's
You know,
My-
it's not LA.
My wife works for Amazon, and they sent her out to Lake Tahoe, or actually Reno,
Oh,
and
my
then she
God.
went to Lake Tahoe, and she fell in love with Lake Tahoe, dude. She's
Oh, my
like,
God.
oh, we have to go back there. I'm just like,
yeah.
okay.
Well,
I haven't been there. She went there without me, but
We're only an hour and 35 minutes from Lake Tahoe.
oh, nice.
Yeah, on the California side, and
And that's one of the things too. She said she want to go back and see all the trees, like the redwoods, sequoias, and all that stuff out there. So
well, General Sherman, dude, that thing is like a 35-story building, dude. It's insane. It's so big. You don't you think it's fake. It's so big. It really, and it's been here before Jesus Christ was around.
Yeah.
So you've seen it all. But anyway, dude, so Invitations up, dude. When you guys want to come up, dude,
Oh,
there's
hell
a
yeah.
good metal scene brewing up here in this little town. There's a young band of kids from seventh grade. Intellectual Decay is their name, and they're killing it, man. Intellectual Decay. They're all like elementary school guys. Like one of them takes guitar lessons from me, and I teach at their school at the Nevada County School of the Arts, and
Okay.
that's where I met all this. There's a huge new generation of artists out of these little towns, that are. It's like insane. It's like a big tree with fruit.
Right.
That's
So much,
what we need.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
much art.
Exactly
Yeah.
what we need. Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. I'm an educator here now, aside from being the musician that I used to be. Um, I have an arts incubator in town, and I'm responsible for over 50 kids here. Steering them up with bass, with guitar, with anything that making sure that they pick their dreams rather than a career because it's like you don't have to have a hobby and a career. You can do what you love and intertwine it so it becomes a
Right.
career like I've done. I've been a musician for 30 years. I've never the second I try to do something else, I crash. So you know what I'm saying? It's like be an artist. Love what you do. The more you love what you do, the more money you're gonna make. Chick
Yep.
Corea told me that when he gave me my degree at Berkeley. I was freaking out. I'm like, how do we make it? He goes, the more you do what you love, the more money you're gonna make.
And it's like that old adage, do something you love and you'll never work a day in your life,
Right.
Yeah, because you don't get tired from it. When you work for money, you get tired.
Burn out. You
Yeah,
get
no
burn
shit.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah. You
So you
absolutely
take a weekend that you have to go and enjoy the world, and you're sleeping, you're watching Netflix, smoking weed all day because you're like done, and then it's Monday again.
Yep.
What's that? People think I'm crazy where I work because they'll come out and like if they call you in, they have to pay you like so much more an hour because they called you in because I work in the hospital. So
Right.
they're like, hey, we'll give you $3 more an hour to come in for this shift or whatever. And I always tell them no because I'm 50 years old, dude. I've done all that shit my whole life. I'm doing 40 hours and I ain't doing nothing else. I don't give a fuck. I'm not doing.
Yeah.
I don't have to. I don't want to.
I'm worth more than the three extra fucking dollars an hour.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
that, and I think my time, at this point, my time's worth more than that to me.
Right.
I got two grandkids, and
Bro.
we keep them on the weekend, so that's more important to me spending time with them than to go make $3 more an hour. So
I tell the students, it's like you're young now, so you dream every day. Eat meat, eat bacon, eat butter sticks. You're young, I said. Because when you get all like us, we still can dream, but we can't fuck up.
Yeah.
When you
Right.
dream, you have the chance to make a mistake. You fall, you dust yourself up, you
Yeah.
keep going. But now when we're old, you fuck up, that can take you out.
Yeah.
So you gotta be careful with that. But for now, don't stop dreaming. But like your capability for dreaming, the how can I say, like the chances of fucking up when you're dreaming get shorter and shorter as you grow older, just because we don't have enough time to recover.
Yeah.
Exactly.
To say, okay, fuck, let's start over. So it's important. That's why I like again what you guys are doing, following your dream as freaking bloggers and putting this shit out because you love to do it, is so beneficial to
And
art.
I think I said this before too. I think we were lucky to get on the front end of COVID because we did this before COVID started. So we were already starting to do this before everybody else started to do it because COVID hit. They wanted to do something, so they started a podcast. And I was like, well, no, we were already doing this before, so we were kind of already doing this before all that hit. So I kind of feel like we got on the front end of things. It's probably why we're still going. Honestly, is because we were. We already had everything built to the point to where we were starting to do band interviews by the time COVID hit. So we were already and at that time it worked out perfect for us because a lot of bands weren't touring at the time. You know what I mean? So it worked out good. It worked out good for us.
Yes.
Because
You're
They were, we'd be like, hey, love the album. You want to come on the show and talk? Oh, hell yeah, we ain't doing nothing else. Like, all right, great. It's like
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like the name of your show says, Metalheads Unite. I can tell you for sure that from our end, we'll spread the voice. Um, we'll send you bands. You know what I'm saying? If there's something weird out here that needs to be heard, you will be getting a call from me. Like
Hell
we're
yeah,
like
please
that.
do.
And to help move the shit. Like we gotta show the world that people get confused when they say there's no culture in America because they focus on the big cities. Big cities are melting points where all the countries from the world come to LA, and that's the LA sound. All the countries in the world melt together in New York, and that's it. LA's the New York, but America has a huge layer of American culture that lives in the rural communities, not the big cities. Like places like where I'm at, where you see the local kids that have not been influenced by fucking Kim Kardashian doing their thing here. You know what I'm saying? And it sounds different and it sounds beautiful. Like blues up here in this mountain sounds different because it's not the type of blues that comes from black people. It's blues that comes from pistolero. Hold on, where am I? I vanish. They come from pistolero like style backgrounds, like the Mexican, the Revolution War. Like that.
Oh, yeah.
That's the country. That's the blues you hear. It doesn't come from a cotton field. It comes from a foothill and like gold running thieves. You know what I'm saying? So the genetic is different, and you can hear it in the music. So it's so important, for people like you guys to be doing this, because this is where that window to our American culture can get exposed from, rather than the big city, like a blog with like a guy listening from Krakow right now or Poland to be like, oh my god, and boom, that is it's great. I'm really grateful, guys, for this.
Yeah, I was trying to think. I just listened to an album last week. Was the Whirlwind album last week that I listened to? I think? Yeah. So they had an album called 1640, and they're a Barcelona-based band. So it was like one of the Spaniard Wars or something, I think, is what influenced the album. And then the one before that was called 1712, which was another, historical thing that happened over there. What I think that's cool is, like you're talking about the culture, they dug into that culture and pulled out a whole album to talk about what they felt like happened in that revolution or whatever. And I think that's
I learned more about history. Yeah, I learned more about history from Iron Maiden than my Ernest Hemingway, Rhyme of the I learned about Hemingway from Maiden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The amount, and the funny thing is the amount of historical warfare accounts that even Sabaton sings about is ridiculous.
Sabaton. Love it.
I love Sabaton.
Yeah, man.
Dude, love Sabaton.
But anyway,
I think too, we you was talking about your education. I think that's a while too. Is like we tend to find out more and more as we go far along with this, is that a lot of people within bands are very educated,
very well educated.
Yeah, like they have, one band we talked to, every member has a damn degree in music. Like every member, I'm just like, this is crazy, dude. Like you would not think that, I think it's, like I said, you have to change with time, and it's not the sex, drugs, and rock and roll era anymore. It's
you don't change that. That still remains. That stays the same, bro. Don't fuck with that. You just add the robot to it. That's all.
It went from that to grab him by the pussy era. So it's like,
I wish I knew about that. I never did it.
But yeah, it's just like in a lot of times I'll see bands talk about, we go out and I remember LA Guns. I actually lost one of my buddies, and he wound up wandering onto their tour bus. I had to go grab him, and they were like, oh no, come on, have a drink with us or whatever. So we were like drinking with LA Guns at like 20, 21, whatever it was. I can't remember, but I guess we were loading up the drink, so it had to be 21. But we were
that
we
doesn't
were on,
mean shit. Yeah,
I know. You're gonna get with your mom today. It's like, you were lying to me.
Actually, I know that is wrong, because this was 98, maybe no 96. So let's see. Yeah, so I was 21. Yeah, I was 21. So
Sure. Is that what you told the cop? Sure, yeah.
yeah, that's what I told the cops. Yeah, but anyway, I had to like
But
get
the
him off.
heroin was illegal anyway.
That's right. Yeah, I had to go get him off the bus, and then when we were on the bus, they start showing me these photo albums of the damn women that's been on the bus, like buck ass naked in the photos. I'm just like, dude, what the fuck? It's like, and like
Then
now
and then I fell asleep, and then I woke up at this bus station.
yeah,
Yeah,
with my kidney removed,
yeah, my ass hurts, my mouth hurts. No,
Uh,
yeah, my photos in
but
the bus now.
yeah, but it's like they, you went from that to bands now talking about, oh yeah, we just like get off stage and relax and play video games, or it's like it's all kind of like it's just so different now. It's like there's so much. I guess there's so much more outlets to have, I guess, than they used to. Too, I
Yeah.
guess. I don't
Well,
know.
it was different. Like um, the old rock stars that I grew up playing with from when I was like 24, like the War guys, the Chicago, the Grand Funk Railroad guys that we used to tour and hang out with those guys all the time. Um, they were so much more fucking tough and so much more like ghetto, like you're saying that the rock stars of today.
Right.
I don't know what it was. I don't know why it was, but like I think it made the music sound a certain way though.
Hmm.
It was a little
Oh,
more
there was.
careless, more free,
Yeah.
more like I mean try soloing stems from like Jimi Hendrix and they a horrible out of tune. It's like but then you put it all together. And it's like this is magic. I don't understand. You know, I, I I don't know what the genetics were back. Like that made people be so much stuff. Like maybe how life was. People were less attached to sensitivity like the kids are now. You say something, a kid cries
There,
right
yeah, there
away.
might there
Yeah.
might be something to that. Yeah, I think.
I
Yeah,
mean, I was born and raised Jesuit. I got beat up since the time I got out of my mom, dude,
Right.
by a priest with a ruler, dude. You
I
know?
was I was just telling a story the other day. Whenever I was growing up, we had I remember having the first Nintendo. Of course, playing it or whatever, and wasn't even like so focused on that you wasn't realizing that nobody else was in the room. So I'm just like getting pissed off at it, like you son of a bitch. And next thing I know, I'm like pow. I'm like what the fuck? And my grandmama throws a shoe at me. Like watch your damn mouth, boy. It's like so it's like I think that's kind of like I tell people stories like that, and they're like, man, y'all were just child abused. I'm like, no, we weren't child abused. We were just you know we was just your mom just threw whatever the first thing she
yeah.
found.
The
You know,
freaking
No,
sandal,
yeah,
man.
that
yeah.
was just
Oh no,
that was just discipline, is all
my
it was.
my brother pissed her out so bad one time she was about to unplug the lamp, and I said, "Oh shit, he done really messed her up." So,
Ooh, the lamb, yeah, yeah. Switch,
yeah,
switch. Yeah, but it created the sense of like when you fuck up, there's consequences, and I think that's the
Exactly,
problem now.
exactly.
I don't think
I think that's the
it's
problem. I think it's the problem that you see now with younger people with the police is that they don't. They for one, everybody thinks they're a fucking lawyer when they get pulled over.
Oh
And
God,
it's,
sovereign
it's
citizens. Oh,
yeah,
drive me
and it's
bro.
like
fucking insane.
it's
When
like
we
just
grew up,
show your fucking license, let them give you the ticket or not give you the ticket, and go about your fucking business. Like,
yeah, when we
why is it
grew
gotta be
up,
such a
we didn't have smash and grabs growing up. Remember, dude?
no,
Yeah,
no,
Like
yeah.
that would have been like, oh my god, you're fucked.
yeah,
Now it's like I come in LA, dude, at the Topanga Mall. It's like coming. You just hear commotion, and there's like 50 kids running out of the Gucci store, carrying as many bags as they can, and there's
Yeah.
Jesus,
nothing they can do about it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
You
that
know?
comes back to when retail stores started saying, well, if they make it out of the store with the product, just leave it be. And it's like we got insurance to cover that. And I'm just like, yeah, but that's not teaching them anything.
Yeah,
It's
that's not. Yeah,
you know,
your insurance isn't the point. That's the
All
fact
right.
that
right.
it's the fact that they know that you're gonna
That
let them
you.
get away, and they're just gonna
All
fucking
right.
do it again. So yeah,
All right. Just tell them you don't have insurance.
Yeah, there you
You
go.
can't
Yeah,
have insurance, bro. Don't take it. But
uh,
it just emboldens them, and they're gonna do it again. And then when there's a day that comes by where one of them does get confronted by law enforcement. They're going to fight law enforcement. Law enforcement's going to hurt them. And then they're going to cry, oh, the cop beat me up. Well, no shit, the cop beat you up.
It's
You
like
know what I mean?
it's like they forgot the second part of "I fought the law." You know,
Yeah, I mean, look, it's just common sense. If
it,
someone
it never
falls-
said I fought the law and I won. So it's
Yeah,
like,
and it's common sense. If there's a big ass dude with a bulletproof vest and a gun and the
Yeah.
right to kill coming at me, I'm gonna do whatever the fuck. Yeah, I'll be like, yes,
right? Exactly.
yes. It's like running. It's like you see a bear and you start running away from the bear. What do you think the bear's gonna do?
Gonna catch you because they run 30 miles an hour,
Right.
and yeah, it's gonna eat your
Right.
ass. Not in the fun way. So
35.
I just watched a video where a guy was running from the police and then he got cornered and then he comes at him with a knife. I said, "You do realize they have guns on you, dude? Why are you trying to come at him with a knife?"
Brought a
Stop.
knife to it.
They're like, stop, and he kept coming. So, I mean, they didn't
I
have
think
a
I
choice.
saw
They
that
just
one.
shoot him. I'm like,
The guy
Jesus
with,
Christ, dude! Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
I saw that. The dude with the bat rope. I
I
saw
don't
that.
remember. I
Yeah,
don't
he
remember
opened the door and the cop opens the door and the guy slashes the cop with a knife. It's like, all right.
Oh, I remember
That's a
that
different-
one.
I remember that one.
I remember that one.
That's a different
Yeah.
I'm
one.
like, bro, what do you think is gonna happen?
I remember that one. Yep,
And the
I
cop
do.
didn't even. He like pull his taser first. He's all bleeding, and I'm like,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
yeah, you don't see that in Russia. Oh,
Right.
fucking A.
Well, I mean, that's what
Well,
goes
no.
to show you.
Well, you
That
don't.
goes to show you. That goes to show you right there. It's always about the cop's attitude too, because he got cut and still tased the guy where he had every right to shoot him at that point.
Oh my god, like all
Yeah,
of it.
but then you get some guy that's just smarting off and they shoot him. Like, what the hell? He didn't even like swing or nothing. So it's like
Yeah.
it all depends. It's a mentality thing, and I always feel like you go along just to go along with whatever, just
Yeah.
to keep going. It's like
Hey, on a random question, guys, what do you guys think of the name? What was your or your first impression of the name? Like when you read it, you're like when Curtis sent you this shit, you're like, well, what the fuck is this?
yeah. It kind of jumped out at me because actually the artwork kind of jumped out at me more than anything. When I seen the artwork, I was like, "Oh, this is interesting." So I was like, "Well, we'll give it," And then I read where all the influences involved, and I said, "Well, that would be pretty interesting." So then when I started listening to it, I said, "Yeah, this is definitely something unique, I think, right now." So
Great.
yeah, but the name was actually something I was going to bring up for you guys because I was kind of wondering where that kind of came up from. But
it's definitely an attention getter. And when I first saw it, I was like, that's probably why they named the band the way they did, was to get attention. And I had a feeling, like I say, after listening to like Far From Right and everything else, I was like, this is probably not so much satirical, but what it is I figured as like what this is it's probably an example of, we named the band this and these are the names of our songs because we're trying to prove that what people will do is they will see something and they will make they'll have all these preconceived notions just based off the name, and then they'll see, oh, Officer Lucifer, so they're probably satanic because these people
Right.
they see something and they just want to grab onto it and just be exactly just be so upset about it and just be so upset about it. So from a personal standpoint, like I say, I don't care if you name your band Officer Lucifer or Jesus Fish or Beelzebub's Butthole or whatever. I don't care. To me, I don't care what you name your band or even what imagery you use.
Team Ramrod.
Yeah, Team Ramrod. Or because I mean it's all just a form of expression, and you can.
Right.
I think you should be able to express yourself however you want. Now,
Right.
whether or not I have the same beliefs or opinions as you, to me that doesn't matter. And one of the things that I really do like about heavy metal is there are Christian heavy metal bands, there are satanic heavy metal bands, there's bands in the middle, there's bands that lean one way, there's bands that lean the other way. We talked about Machine Head and Rob being predominantly liberal, and so I mean, I think it should run I think it should run the spectrum.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, there are topics that really shouldn't be sang about, but
Yeah, like
just
pedophile stuff. Yeah, you're
exactly.
right.
Yeah.
So I mean,
You're right.
obviously,
But
You're right.
yeah. There's obviously
luckily for us, Winger took care of all that in the '80s. So
well, yeah, that's true. But
Yeah.
but so I really to me I think there are very few topics that are off limits, but I mean there are some things that are and should be, but I think people just dismissing a band outright just based on a name is a little unfair, but at the same time I think in your guys' case you were clever enough to know what avenue you were taking and what approach you
right.
were making. So I was like, at first listen, I was like, all of this is on purpose. I know it is. This is all on purpose.
All on purpose.
Yeah, it's all on purpose.
It's like Slayer, you know? They weren't satanic.
No.
I luckily know I knew Jeff, and they were like, no, we were just trying to fuck with people.
Yeah.
Same with Tom,
Yeah.
which is hilarious. But with I just couldn't believe that Officer rhymed with Lucifer. I was like, wow, that's just like
It's
meant to be.
it's pretty
Yeah.
close. Absolutely.
Because it rolls out your tongue pretty quick, which was good. It's like, wow, what is this? But I'm glad the name created some sort of attention grab. But which was the whole point of it, and the colors and the artwork.
Yeah.
Um, it's
Who,
not
who
AI. It's
so who
not
did the
AI.
artwork?
My little brother. Well, he's not little. He's 31, but I'm just old as fuck.
Yeah.
Well, that's like my little brother. My little brother is like a half foot taller than me. So
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a yeah
He's
he's
just a
a
little.
yeah, he's the art director of this company that is a math company that makes math books as comic books. Really incredible
Oh
stuff.
wow.
Oh, that's an interesting. Yeah, that's an
Yeah.
interesting
Yeah,
take on it.
it's
Yeah.
really Beast Academy is called. It's so freaking awesome. But he's doing the art there. And I asked him for that. He's been like my pupil. I got him into metal. I made him smoke weed for the first time. You know,
And if
through
he's your
Dave,
if he's
through
your little if he's your lit if
Dave Lombardo's pipe. I mean, he was
Oh
like a
wow.
ceremony. It was like fucking. Dave had this long ass glass pipe that had a skull at the end, and then Dave loads the pipe, and then I lit it, and that's how he smoked weed for the first time. I was like, bro. So, when he came to do
Well,
the
that's a
artwork,
story.
that is
yeah,
a story.
no
Yeah.
shit. When I came to do the album, the cover and the illustration, like I asked him, he's like, hey, you down? And he's really creative, very talented. So he nailed the vibe right away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should see the next character is gonna be a little. I'm not even gonna tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
I
no,
said,
we want to be surprised too.
Yeah,
So.
we do. Yeah.
he's
So,
he's just very pink and piggy.
Pink and Piggy. They so you guys like I guess this is for both of you guys. So kind of curious of where you got kind of inspiration for your guitars and stuff.
Well,
Um,
David, that guitar fun.
Well, my approach, what I love about this band is our different backgrounds, and like I'm kind of like a metalhead guy, like I just that's what I played my whole life pretty much, like I do know about other genres, but like I'm a metal player, so um, I feel like I approach it with that kind of in mind. That's kind of my role to bring that side of things, the intensity in that way, and also complement whatever Pancho and Andres are doing, So it's kind of like, yeah, let's kind of bring the heat up a little bit, with the distortion, but also like how can I serve what is already happening, and how can I add another layer to this, that like it kind of like keeps it like breathing and morphing into something bigger. So that's kind of how I see it.
So who was like somebody you like seeing for the first time playing guitar, and you're just like, dude, I want to do that.
Oh, for me, I mean, definitely. It started with Gene Simmons, bass player, but that was kind of like the first one. I was very little. I saw it on TV, and I was like, wow, like I want to do that when I grew up, like. And then later on was like a Slash a little bit, but like definitely Dimebag Darrell, from Pantera. That was like
Yeah.
the guy, that definitely for me like had it all,
Hmm.
like the rhythm, the lead, like using very simple, riffs, and like making it into something like legendary. Like I felt like that was like a great skill that he had, and but he can also play like really complex things, so
Yeah.
he was like just great all around, so definitely a big inspiration.
Well, I guess Dom was like that because you know when Zach was talking about playing the Pantera shows, he said, "Dude, I can't play those." Like
Oh yeah,
he even admitted it. Like he's like, "Dude, I can't play those." It's like I'll do my best to put Zach's touch on it, but I can't play it like Dom did because
Yeah.
he which speaks a lot about what Dom did. It's like I think Dom was probably never looked at as a one of the best guitarists around until Cowboys from Hell came out because there wasn't a lot of limelight on Pantera until that record came out, and then they're like, oh, who's this guy playing these fucking intros and shit? This is crazy.
Yeah.
right.
And then of course he
It,
just kept escalating it too from there to vulgar display, and then of course on the far beyond driven, and then he just kept going. It's just like so crazy how he just kept hearing the progressions that he was making in each album, which is cool as hell to
well, you
hear
gotta
that.
give credit a lot to Rex on the riffage of Pantera, dude, because
Oh yeah,
Rex had a lot to do with those riffs.
Right.
A lot of people think he was just dime, dime, dime with a. He was insane. I mean, fuck, that's dime. Look, that's my pick case. Yeah. But Rex had a lot, and you can feel it because we were talking this with David about it. Like when the riff comes from the bass, you can hear. Like if you hear Swallow, that's a bass riff song.
hmm
oh yeah,
That came from the bass. Like that's a bass riff. That was actually the first song that I wrote for this project. But then when you hear Far From Right, that's a song that David wrote. That was a guitar driven song,
Right.
and they sound different. They
hmm
have a different. They're both amazing, but it's like the riffage differentiates, and I think that's what helped a lot of Pantera. That a lot of those riffs were bass driven.
yeah.
So it's like Black Sabbath. That's all bass driven riffs, that were made by Geezer. It's really great. But um, it has definitely contributed to like the variety of the sound. To have David do his thing and like Andres do his thing and Paige. We all just put it together. We're not telling each other what to do.
hmm
Just make sure it fits. You know what I'm saying?
hmm
so I'm guessing Rex was one of the inspirations for bass playing with you,
Um, no, it goes deeper. It was Geezer from Sabbath.
or
It was Clifford from Metallica.
oh yeah,
It was Roger Glover from Deep Purple. And then he moved into like Family Man, Rocco Prestia, Jaco Pastorius, Gary, like all the other dudes, and and then ironically, um, I did listen to a lot of Pantera because I remember fast forwarding to the solos because you can hear the bass because there was no rhythm guitars.
hmm
That I
Yeah.
remember. So Rex was definitely like I could say a huge part of my playing. Like not at the beginning, but like towards the middle. You
hmm
know what I'm saying? Like humongous part of my playing. Like I don't use a pick. I play with fingers,
right.
but it was just like the way he riffed and the way he comped when he was on
hmm
top of a solo. I was like, oh my god, I need to learn how to do that.
When I was in high school, we was trying to start a band, and I was a bass player then, and like I think the guy that really like inspired me to want to do that was Billy Sheehan. Like seeing him in that Addicted to That Rush video, I'm just like, holy shit! Because like the whole time I thought that was a guitar, just a regular guitar in the beginning, and I'm just like, dude, that's a fucking bass. Like holy shit!
Yeah,
like
his chops
like
are ridiculous.
oh
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
insane.
So it's like crazy how many I make. And with Pantera though, I think that whenever Phil got there, whenever Phil got there, they tried to play to his voice. I think because I don't think the glam stuff was working out very well with his voice and them trying to play it. So I think that's one of the reasons they changed the sound was because of playing toward his deeper and deeper tones and
I
stuff. So,
couldn't believe when I found out about their 9 glam records before
oh,
Pantera.
yeah,
And I was like, holy crap! Thank God, it was
right.
It was horrible.
Yeah,
Oh my
yeah.
God.
Well,
Well, I
that's
mean,
what yeah, that,
that's why they didn't do it. They never did get popularity that they
All
should
right.
have gotten because they were, when they changed over to the groove sound,
yeah,
that's that skyrocketed them, dude. And
that's
I think a lot too was they weren't used to that success, and I think it hit them really fast, and I think that's what caused a lot of the alcohol and drug abuse that they were doing. So
Yeah.
you know,
I think definitely I think that definitely happened to Phil, but that's also Cowboys from Hell. That's why we refer to Cowboys from Hell being the start of Pantera 2.0.
Yeah.
Because they're definitely two different eras of the exact same band. I mean, it was it was a it was a complete 180 for them, stylistically, sonically, everything. It was basically a complete reinvention because we've mentioned this before that Phil was actually in Pantera for that fifth album,
right.
so he was actually in the band at the tail end of the
Yeah.
glam metal Pantera. So it wasn't
The
like
power
so
metal album, yeah.
yeah, so it wasn't just like Phil showed up for Cowboys from Hell. No, he was in the band before
Right.
that. He was actually on one. So it was a
Well,
complete
that's kind of what I'm
180.
saying. I think they made that record and were like, we got to really play toward his strengths because this isn't it's clashing more than it's working
Yeah.
together. So,
And
but
who knew? I mean,
right, yeah.
no one knew what it would turn into, and thankfully
I
it
think
did. And
well,
just
I think they're one of the reasons why grunge was so short lived too was because everybody was looking for that different sound because of all the
could
'80s
be.
shit. And then Nirvana came along. They're like, "Oh, this is different." Everybody jumped on board, and then there's Soundgarden and Pearl Jams and Alice in Chains and
Fuck,
all
I
those
used to
guys came
hate
along.
Nirvana when he came
Yeah,
out. I'm like, bunch of
right. I did too. Like,
bunch of posers of shit, and now I love it.
yeah.
I
I
love
Well,
Nirvana.
I think as a younger me was mad because of it killing. I blamed it for killing off that era of music, which was not true. As now that I got older, I just realized that it was just because that genre got so saturated that it killed itself.
pretty
It just
much, yeah.
it drowned itself out.
Yeah.
And then Pantera came in with that new sound and that new life with metal, man, and it just took right back off. It's like, you had 4 or 5 years there where you were kind of like,
Yeah.
whatever came out, you're just like, whatever.
Dude,
It
I
de-
remember when Vulgar came out, it was like,
yeah.
Yeah,
It
what?
de- it
Okay, that's it.
it definitely helped keep the heartbeat of heavy metal going because
it did. Yeah,
there was a 5-6 year kind of like little
it
bit
was
of
on
a
life support.
it
I mean,
was it had a definite downturn for a
Yeah,
while,
it's
so
insane. But hey, my dudes, I got to step. I have a gig in
yep,
Concord, California. I have to go drive to.
oh shit,
absolutely.
yeah, man,
Yep.
I again from the bottom of my heart and all of our hearts, man. Thank you so much for what you guys
Yeah,
are
man,
doing.
Yeah, thank you.
absolutely.
yeah,
This is
hey,
real
You
shit. This is
you
real
guys
shit.
you guys want to shoot out any of your socials and websites and stuff
Dave,
real quick or
yeah, plug away.
Yeah,
plug
well,
away.
thank you so much, guys. You can find our music and experience the whole concept of the band at officerlucifer.com. You can find there our videos. You can stream our songs. I also download the songs if you want to. Follow
Oh,
us
yep, there it is.
on Instagram. That's our main social.
260 followers. That means we're real motherfuckers. That means the algorithm is troubling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So those are our main where you can find. But also we are on all the streaming platforms. Also Bandcamp. Whatever you guys stream your music, you can find us there. Officer Lucifer. We just put out our latest single, Swallow. So
the
yeah,
video, the videos on YouTube for that too, right?
yeah,
Yep.
Yeah, everything is up there, and like I said, we're trying to funnel everybody to our own shit, so we don't have to like give it away to Spotify, and
Right.
so if you guys want to check our stuff, yes, they're everywhere, but Bandcamp, that's you know that goes directly to us, like
Yeah, that's
our YouTube channel that goes to us, like
Mhm.
if for convenience, if you're listening to Spotify, that is not gonna help us one fucking bit.
Right.
So that's the reality, but it is there. So if that's your preference, so be it. But if you want to support us, do it through our channels, and when the album comes out, it's only gonna be sold through our channels, and
now
only
see that
on
that I like.
analog,
Yeah.
That
you
I
know.
like. Yeah.
and only on analog, and only a certain amount, just like a limited amount of copies. And if you buy it, you buy it. If you miss it, you gotta wait for the next album.
No.
And that's gonna be it.
Hey, and get us your address and stuff, and I'll get you guys a T-shirt.
Absolutely,
absolutely.
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm
Just,
like Chinese small, dude. So like, if you send me a medium, it's gonna be too big. No, like medium small, yeah.
I'm sending my 3X so you can go
Yeah,
wear it as a
like I
nightgown,
Nah, comforter. I'll put it on my bed. Yeah.
Well, hey, Pancho Day, man, we appreciate your time and
Thank you, sir.
good luck with everything in the future. And if,
Yeah.
if you guys come up with something new after the fact, want to do this again, just hit us up. Man.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
We might,
Open invitation.
Yeah, we
Awesome.
might for
Thank
the
you,
next
guys.
release probably hit you guys again, and
Yeah.
Okay.
when we're ready to put everything out.
Absolutely.
On top of like I said, if I hear something fucking weird, cool, I'm gonna send it over to you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
oh, hell
Please
yeah.
do.
Well, we already wrote down the names of the couple bands you mentioned. So
Yeah,
Yes,
dude,
we
that
so-
intellectual decay, dude. They're like 14-year-old metalcore people, dude. I'm like, what? Great. Trio. All right, my dudes. Well,
Well, hey, guys.
Purple Power, Metals Unite, dude. Fucking A. We're backing you guys up a lot
Thank
for
you.
whatever you need. We're here. When we get up on a loud stage, we'll make sure to spread the voice.
Yeah,
Shit, man. That's
absolutely.
awesome.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
and
man.
if you guys get to Nashville, we'll try to check you guys
Absolutely.
Yeah, dude,
Awesome.
for reals.
Yeah.
Metal country, I'll try.
out.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Metal tree. All right, guys. Well, I gotta step down. Thank you so
Yep.
much for your time.
Cheers,
Peace
guys.
out, man.
Y'all have a
Thanks.
good one.
Have a good
Yes,
one,
sir.
you guys.
Bye.
Late.
Man.
Awesome. Man, that was a fun interview, dude.
Yeah. It's great that the bands that we listen to and the bands that we interview, they're at different stages of their careers. We've
Right.
interviewed bands that have had of course, when we talked to Lassie the first time, they had one song put out, and these guys have only got 3, but they're on their way. And Brainstorm, they had 14 albums. So I mean, we've gotten to talk to people at various stages of their careers, but talking to somebody like David and Pancho, who have, of course, this project is kind of in its infancy, but I mean, just
Yeah.
the history that they have individually having now come together. The amount of stuff that Pancho has done, the amount of people that he knows and has gotten to work
Oh, yeah.
with.
He started
my
name dropping.
Lord.
I was like, what?
I know. It's like, holy shit, dude. Are you serious? I mean, I just.
Somebody's little brother got high with Dave Lombardo or something?
Yeah, I mean, just
How the
talking
hell,
about.
dude? Like,
I mean, talking
you
about
don't remember
having,
that the rest of your life for sure.
Yeah, I mean, talking about having been in war, and I mean, just.
Yeah.
I mean, good lord, just the amount of people he knows. But it's amazing to get those perspectives and just like those, like just the little tidbits of information that he throws out there. It's like, oh yeah, I know him, and we did this and we did that. And so, it's kind of on the same level of Richie Cavalier's like, yeah, I was at Ozzy's house and he made me a fucking grilled cheese sandwich. It's like, what?
Like it happens every day. Or
yeah, just so matter of fact about it. You're like, wait, time out. We can't just let that go without addressing it.
Right. Like what?
It's like, good Lord. I mean, it's awesome that we get to talk to everybody, and it's awesome to get to talk to a young band who's just trying to find a foothold. But to talk to a band with that much experience, even though, like I said, the actual specific project is something new, just to be able to hear about their overall career and their experiences and who they've gotten to know and where they've gotten to go, and talking about how much he loves Poland, the experience that he had over there and stuff like that. I mean, you don't get that with a younger band that's in their teens, late teens, early 20s, just because they just haven't had the life experience. And there's nothing wrong with that, because hell, we were that age at one point, and there was all that stuff that we hadn't experienced. Now that we're the age that we are, we've experienced different things, so it's obviously, it's like no shit, but it's a completely different perspective getting to interview somebody who's been able to go places and do things, and just to hear the stories it's just an added bonus, because you get to talk about the here and now, the project that just came out, but then it's like, all of the historical tidbits and stuff like that it's awesome.
Yeah. All right, guys. That was Officer Lucifer. That was David and Pancho from that band. Check those guys out over on Spotify, or actually, probably better to do it on Bandcamp, where they can actually get some money out of it.
Bandcamp or their YouTube channel, yeah.
Yeah, but follow their website too, so you can get the album when it drops. Going to do some vinyl presses, it sounds like. So
yeah.
So it's good shit. So
well, and based on the artwork for the singles, I'm sure the vinyls when they come out aren't going to be just your typical just flat black vinyls.
No.
If we've learned anything in the last couple hours about Pancho, it's going to be something bold. So.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be controversial. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But controversy sells. So
it does.
Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that one.
I did, yeah.
So, it was a fun one. Yeah.
It was fun.
So it was actually, I didn't, we went into this not knowing anything about the band at all. This is what the label sent us.
Yeah.
And for it to come out like it did, I'm pretty happy with it. So, it was definitely better than I was expecting it to go. So.
And there is a lot to be said about talking to a couple members of a band that you literally know nothing about, other than the few songs that they put out. So I mean, you literally get to just
it's just like
it's a literal introduction to the band and everything. So
it's like at this point, it's easy for us to go out and say Rick Jimenez has been on the show 3 times already, to come out and say, hey, come on the show and let's just catch up. It's easy for us to do that now than it was the first time we interviewed Rick. Because we didn't know a lot about Extinction AD at that point, So now that we know a lot about him, we've kind of created a relationship with him. Him coming on the shows, like him coming over to the house once a year, having a beer with you or something.
Yep.
Which I don't know if he drinks beer. He probably a protein shake maybe, but
but you know what? But that's the funny thing is we actually know Rick that well.
Yeah, right.
We do know that. That's what's crazy.
It is crazy. Like some of the things I think about sometimes when I see band names, I'm just like, oh man, they're going. We make these memories with these bands, and now it's just like, it's so funny to see their names pop up again, and you're like, oh yeah, just like Hex. We created the saying with him, what the fuck, or what the fuck, so it's. Kind of create things with the, or some of the stuff we talked about. It's like we got on comic books for a little while today, so it's kind of like we've done that several times with with members. Well, we only had 15 minutes at the podcast convention, and we're talking to the drummer for Accept for 10 minutes of that was talking about cartoons.
Yep.
Like, we ain't talking about nothing. Like, damn. So
Yeah, there's 50 years of music to talk
Accept,
about
yeah.
with Accept, and we're Christopher
Talking
Williams is sitting there talking about Ren and Stimpy and South Park
Yeah.
for 2/3 of our interview time.
Which was awesome, man. I thought
Yeah,
it
it
was
was.
funny. It was funny. But like I said, that's the memories that we have now that we probably won't forget no time soon. So
No.
Hey guys, if you haven't checked out our 24/7 radio station, it is up and running again. So we got all the bugs worked out. I'm not sure if they gotten I haven't been on it this week, so don't know if they've gotten the name and title of the songs worked out yet or not. He said there was something with the coding. I don't know if he's fixed that yet or not. But anyway, you can check that out over at thefrontrow.net/radio with a capital R. Make sure it's a capital R.
Capital R. Yep. Follow us
check
on
us
all.
out.
Follow us on all of our social media platforms, our Facebook group and page, X, Instagram, TikTok, our YouTube channel, Twitch, and Rumble, and all of the band interviews and the playlist that we create, the theme of the week and the new release playlist are over on Spotify, and you can email us at metalheadsuniteusa@gmail.com.
Yeah. And all of those playlists and stuff are on the radio station. They just won't show up in that order.
Right,
So-
not in that order.
So if you want it in that order, you have to listen to it on Spotify. But
Yes.
most everything that we do there does wind up on the radio station as well. So all right. So anyway, hopefully you enjoyed the interview. Next week looks like we're back to our regular format so far.
Right
we
now,
do got some lines in the water, so we're just waiting to hear back on any of that. So, but anyway,
Card is subject to change.
exactly. Yeah. I'm used to that one for
Yeah,
sure.
you are. Yeah, you are.
So anyway, guys, hopefully you enjoyed it. See you back here next week.